Field, getting ready for Stallions versus Outlaws. And you might be wondering, why is it just me alone here? Our other broadcaster, Casey DeSalle, has the night off, so it's just AJ and I here in Oneonta. AJ, of course, behind the computer, will be joining me on the broadcast in a little bit. But the Stallions in this one coming in 10-2-1, trying to get that coveted next win. And as for the Outlaws, they're coming in on a 2-game win streak as well. Why don't we go take a look back at last night's 10-0 win in 7 innings? Job, 4 innings pitched. Steven Rojas in his debut, 2 2/3, and then closing it out with Ben Keefe for a singular third at the end. So speaking of Mario Trivella, he's leading off tonight for the Stallions. Let's take a look at how he's doing so far this season. Trivella, 3 for 4 last night, as we mentioned, batting .375 on the season, 11 RBIs. His lone home run of the year was on the first game of the season here at Damaski Field. We'll see if he'll be able to replicate it. And as for the guys behind the plate, they've been spectacular as well. It's mostly been Nate Manley and Josh Blackmore. Blackmore in the lineup tonight. Both of them batting above .325. 5 RBIs for Blackmore, 8 hits, an 986 fielding, and a 1,000 fielding percentage for Manley. These two guys have been stellar behind the dish for the Stallions. Almost getting ready here to go. First pitch slated for 7 p.m. here at Damaski Field. Why don't we look at the last 2 matchups so far this season between the Outlaws and the Stallions. The first matchup was on opening night here at Damaski Field. Stallions taking care of business, 11-0 in 7 innings. Nick Pettit also started in that game. He'll try and look to do the same here tonight. As for that second matchup, that was a 7-1 win at Cantine Field on Wednesday night. The Stallion staff only allowing a singular run in 2 matchups here against the Outlaws. Almost ready to go here at Damaski Field. First pitch is slated for 7 p.m. When we come back, we'll run through lineups and first pitch. Stay right with us here on the Stallions YouTube channel. Dan Chow with you here alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth from Damaski Field here in Oneonta, getting ready for Stallions against Outlaws. And AJ, the Stallions are searching for their 12th win of the year. They've been very hot to start off, 11-2-1 coming into this game.
Coming back to Damaski Field since their first game of the season in a win. In a mercy win, 11-0. The Stallions took the win, then went back home last Tuesday against the Outlaws again in a 7-1 win. So the Stallions looking to get their third win against the Outlaws here in their third appearance facing them.
Why don't we take a look now at the batting lineup here tonight for the Stallions. And AJ, two key figures missing in this one, Ethan Conrad and also Byram Hott. Not in there tonight, but plenty of guys that can hit. It's Mario Trivella to start off. He had a great night last night going 3 for 4. Then it's Fritz Genther batting .346 on the season. Ryan Resio DHing. Justin Ford, the extra hitter. He's been exceptional. 2 hits in his last 3 games at minimum. Josh Blackmore, the catcher. Then it's Ben Williams, the left fielder. Jarrett May, a guy who's searching for hits, just gotten unlucky lately. He's in the 7 hole. Then to round out 8, 9, 10, it's Rich Rodriguez, Tyler Back, and Evan Dieter.
The last time we saw Conrad and Hott not in the lineup was at Utica in a 5-4 loss. This is the second time of the season this is happening. But to get to the more big topic here, Dan, Trivella batting 1 today.
Yeah, Trivella in the leadoff spot. We talked about him in the pregame show. He had a great night last night, a 3 for 4 night, a single, double, and a triple. 1 hit shy of the cycle, AJ, that being the home run. And this guy homering at Damaski Field in the season opener.
Definitely an impact to the Stallions team, and Coach Colin Martin definitely knows that. Look, take a look at the Outlaws defense.
Yeah, it's Grantham behind the plate, Harden at third, Carrera over at short, Delvecchio at second waiting over at first. Then left to right, it's Hopko, Dale, and Ross. Getting ready for baseball here from Damaski Field. Stallions against Outlaws. Saugerties chasing their 12th win of the season. Colin Condon's ready to go. He deals a first pitch that's lined out to center field. Jacoby Dale is under it. And Trivella goes down swinging on the first pitch.
Dan, in yesterday's game, the Stallions not looking at that first pitch aggression swing. Today we saw with Trivella so far, first swing, first pitch.
And the pitcher on the mound tonight for Oneonta is Colin Condon, the 5'10", 180 Wofford commit. Pitched against the Stallions earlier this year. So far in the PGCBL, he's sporting a 7.36 ERA through 11 innings pitched. He'll have to go against the third baseman, Fritz Genther, here with 1 out in the top of the first. Genther so far this season batting a .346. Stallions are looking for their third straight win against Oneonta for the first time since last year, that being in a 3-game stretch. That was from June 21st to July 1st.
With an electrifying Stallions offense, the Outlaws having some pitching troubles throughout the season. Season average supporting a 6.83 so far.
Yeah, and that's in the bottom barrel of teams in the league. The Stallions staff, and we'll get to it in the bottom half of the inning, a 2.75. That's best in the entire PGCBL East and West. Here's the 3-0 to Genther. That one's in there for a strike, and it's 3-1.
Dan, taking a look at the Outlaws' last 3 games, an 8-7 win against Watertown, a 12-2 win against Boonville, and a 8-1 loss against Amsterdam. So 2-1 in their last 3, looking to get another one right here against the Stallions.
Yeah, they're on a 2-game winning streak, squeaked out a win up in Watertown. Last night, the Rapids putting up 5 runs in that bottom of the 9th, but Oneonta still able to come away with the win. Genther fouls that one off, and it's our first full count of the ball game here with 1 out in the top of the first.
Having 14 full counts last night, the Stallions fighting back in a 0-2 count, or they're going down in a 3-0 count. It's one or the other every time.
It's a little seesaw action, right, AJ? Here's the 3-2 to Genther. That one's fouled right back, and the count will stay at 3-2.
An Outlaws pitching staff giving up 22 doubles this year so far and 3 triples, and with Trivella 1, Genther 2, Resio 3, and all these guys that put in the gap constantly, it might be trouble today for them.
Yeah, Genther with 3 extra base hits on the season lines that one over to left field, and the Stallions have their first base runner of the game here in the top of the first.
Exactly the swing Fritz Genther needed. Smooth, right over the shortstop's head.
Not trying to do too much. It'll bring the DH Ryan Resio up to bat. Resio so far this season through 9 games, batting .233. One out, top of the first. Genther is over at first. He's a speed threat, has 7 stolen bases this year. That one's upstairs for ball 1.
Stallions, a speedy squad, Dan. 53 stolen bases so far through 13 games of play.
We'll see if Genther's willing to test the arm of Grantham behind the dish here with 1 out. Gets a big lead. That one's in there for strike 1. AJ, probably the steamiest night we've had so far in the PGCBL. The weather sitting at, 85 degrees, and the sun's not even down yet. You're sweating, I'm sweating. The players coming here on the bus said by far the hottest game they've played so far here in Saugerties.
Not a lot of wind, and we're up north on the northern side, so it's a lot of humidity coming and not a lot of water around us.
In the valley. Another check over on Genther. He's back there easily. Now, this Stallions team sporting a .293 batting average coming into this game. That's second best in the entire PGCBL, just behind Amsterdam. That one's in there for strike 2.
And Dan, we talked about the doubles that the Outlaws give up, but taking a look at the Stallions doubles this season, most in the PGCBL standing at 20.
Ryan Resio searching for 1 here with 1 out in the top of the first. Swings through it. Genther will get over to second on the pass ball by Grantham, but Resio goes down on strikes, and with 2 outs, it'll probably be the hottest hitter in the lineup as of late, Justin Ford.
Taking a look at Justin Ford these past few games has been absolutely unbelievable. Last game against Boonville going 2 for 3, against Glen Falls on June 15th, 2 for 3, and then a 12-12 tie against Albany, 3 for 5.
And a perfect time here for a hit in the top of the first. Genther is at second. There's 2 outs in the inning. First pitch to Ford is inside for ball 1.
And Dan, a good saying to go with hitting the ball so well right now is he's seeing it like a volleyball. He's seeing it like a bigger object than the baseball itself.
Yeah, Ford didn't play this season at Seton Hall, but batted .638 in high school, AJ. So there's a reason why he's with the Pirates and a reason he's on the Stallion squad. Swings on that one, and the count's 1-1. One count, 2 outs. Genther is over at second here in the top of the first. Condon deals the off speed, and it's in there for strike 2.
Condon, that's the first off-speed we've seen for a strike today. Was dirting it a lot of the pitches before, but now finally getting the groove.
Really good bite on that off speed as well. 1-2 count here to Justin Ford with 2 outs in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Grounds that one to the left side. Hardin Fields throws across the diamond, and he's got him for out number 3. So Oneonta keeps a clean top of the first. We head to the bottom half. Nick Pettit on the mound for the Stallions when we come back. Dan Chalm with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, it's good to be back with you. We've only called a singular game together in, the past 10 days, so happy to be with you here at Damaski Field, and I'll tell you someone that's happy to be pitching back here at Damaski Field. It's Nick Pettit.
Nick Pettit, an absolute monster this year. One of the few players in the PGCBL with the 0.00 ERA. In his last start, it was June 12th, coincidentally against Oneonta. 3 innings pitched, 1 run, but it was not earned. 2 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Let me not forget 19 strikeouts over 10 innings so far for Nick Pettit.
You know who that trails, the only one in the league? It's Elias Conway, his teammate, who stands at 21. So this Stallion squad having absolutely no problems so far punching out batters. First batter that Pettit will face here is Matt Carrera. He's the shortstop tonight. Carrera batting .250 on the season. First pitch swinging, lines it over to left field, and it's an early runner here for the Outlaws in the bottom of the first.
First pitch, first swing. The approach the Stallions need right now to get on base. The bats are hot. Just use them.
Second to third baseman from Wofford, number 16, Tanner.
Defensive alignment tonight for the Stallions is Blackmore behind the plate. Genther over at third, Trivella at short, Rodriguez over at second, May over at first, and then left to right on the outfields, Williams, Bach, and Dieter. Tanner Hardin at the plate here for the Outlaws. First pitch to him is a strike. Hardin, the third baseman, batting a .333 this season through 10 games. Went 1 for 4 against Watertown last night.
And Tanner Hardin, a newly equated guy for Oneonta this season, his first year in the PGCBL, but a familiar face to center field Tyler Back, the Wofford product for both of them.
That one's poked out to left field. Williams has got it there for out number 1. So with 1 out in the inning, it'll bring up the center fielder, Jacoby Dale. AJ, this guy last night homering in that win against Watertown. That was a 3-run jack that he hit. It gave Oneonta the 8-2 lead that they would eventually need in order to win the game. Runner at first is Carrera here with 1 out in the bottom of the first. That one's a tailor-made double play. Trivella over to second. May's got it. So a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Stallions keep it clean in the first, and Nick Pettit faces the minimum. We head to the second. No score here from Damaski Field. Dan Shalom here alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, Josh Blackmore coming to bat. He's the catcher tonight for the Stallions, and both of these catchers have been absolutely fantastic to start off the season.
One of the most consistent position for the Stallions right now. Each day, both of them get an off day. They switch off, and it's a consistent switch off where both of them are happy with. Manley batting a .471, Blackmore batting a .348. You can't go wrong here.
Not at all. Manley, the player of the game last night, after he absolutely dominated. He might be a little bit small, but he's got plenty of power in that frame, and it doesn't seem to matter. He can block any ball that tries to get by him. He's got no pass balls so far this season. Josh Blackmore, like we mentioned, at the dish now, went 1 for 3 with a walk up in Glens Falls on Sunday. No score here in the top of the second. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
Having two experienced catchers behind the plate allows them to teach each other, and I think that's what they're doing right now. Anderson obviously out with the injury, hoping all is well with him, but three of them that know exactly how to play the game is a huge advantage for the Stallions.
That one's in there for a strike run from Condon. 1-1 count here in the top of the second to Josh Blackmore. The off-speed misses inside, and it's 2-1. That one just misses, and the count goes to 3-1.
Condon a very fast motion. He gets it, gets in position, and does not wait. Sees one sign and goes for it.
Here's his 3-1. That one misses. And it's a walk here for Josh Blackmore in the top of the second with nobody out.
The only strike we've seen Condon throw off and off speed was that 1-1 count to Justin Ford. Hasn't got it for a strike and on the other batter. The Outlaws hoping he gets that down soon, because if not, it could be a major problem.
Ben Williams, the left fielder at the dish now. Played last night against Boonville, went 1 for 3. Swings through that one for strike one. Williams so far this season, AJ, a .217 hitter. And this guy's been very consistent despite what the numbers say.
He was the hero against Amsterdam in that 2-1 win with a 2 RBI single about a week and a half ago, and has never looked back, just trying to increase the average and get some more reps at the plate.
Takes that one. The count's 1-1. You mentioned the off-speed there is in there for strike two.
Condon doing a good job locating that one. Looking to do it again here on a 1-2 count.
1-2, nobody out. Standing at first is Blackmore. Here from Damaski Field. Condon's 1-2 is down low, and the count goes to 2-2. Nobody out. Williams trying to move over Blackmore here in the top of the second. That one's hit to center field. On the run is Dale. He's got it for out number one.
Outlaws outfield looking like a speedy trio. Anything in the gap, the legs of the Outlaws will get to, looking like after this first inning.
Like you mentioned, Hopko, Dale, and Ross, all three of them being very speedy guys. And we've seen them be effective against the Stallion squad. And now Jarrett May is up to bat, and A.J. May is a guy that's just searching for a hit right now. He's been putting the ball in play. It's been really good contact, just has gotten unlucky as of late.
The baseballs he is hitting right now is just not seeing the green. And it's unfortunate because for such a great player, you want to see the average up. It's just not the way the ball is going right now.
And he's had great plate discipline as well. 6 walks through 9 games this season. Hasn't been afraid to wait for his pitch. Here's the 1-0. That one's upstairs, and the count's now 2-0.
A reason for him having great plate discipline, Dan, is he's an experienced college hitter going to his senior year at Weber.
Takes that one upstairs, 3-0 count, and of course, head coach Colin Martin, the head coach down at Weber, knows that May has plenty of power and skill in that bat, just needs the reps to get there. He's got himself in another favorable hitter's count here in a 3-0. Another check over there at first. Blackmore this season, AJ, doesn't even have a stolen base on the season, so Condon being very cautious. Here's the 3-0. That one's in there for strike one. The 3-1. That one's hit to left center field. Coming in is Dale, but it'll be Dale in the end. Hopko threatened at it. So back-to-back flyouts out to center field, and now with 2 outs in the inning, it'll be the second baseman, Rich Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, another great hitter this season so far. Batting a .308 over 26 at-bats, starting in 9 games with 7 RBIs. A consistent hitter. He could play third, he could play second, he could play short, he could be your DH, and with the way he's hitting, he could be your EH as well.
Yeah, we see him over there at second base tonight. Last game he played was on Sunday against the Dragons, went 1 for 3 in that one with 2 RBIs. Those 2 RBIs, AJ, that he hit ended up being the winning runs as the Stallions only got by the Dragons 4-2. First pitch to Rodriguez is upstairs, and it's 1-0.
Condon having a lot of trouble this game finding first pitch strike. We've seen a 3-0 count go to a 3-1 and then an out. We've seen a lot of 2-0s go to 2-2s. Just not getting that first pitch strike to get these batters off speed.
The 1-0, foul back. This Oneonta team has struggled against Saugerties so far this season. 2 losses in 2 games, the most recent one being Wednesday night at Cantine Field, a 7-1 loss. And then the Stallions coming in here on opening night and mercying the Outlaws 11-0 in 7 innings. Condon's 1-1, misses with the off-speed upstairs.
Taking a look at their season hitting stats, they're batting a .254 compared to the Stallions' .293. Only have 104 hits with 3 triples and 5 home runs. Not the most inconsistent, but not pure consistency yet.
They only have 1 pitcher on the staff, though, AJ, that hasn't given up an earned run so far this season. An opponent's batting average against the Outlaws is 300. That's 3rd worst in the entire PGCBL as Rodriguez walks.
Stallions got to show that the first pitch here is going to be a strike. They have to know. He walked Blackmore. He walked Rodriguez. And now Bach has to know this is going to be a strike. Yeah, two outs. Make the most of it. Put the ball in play and get Blackmore around third to get the first run of the game.
Yeah, and Tyler Bach is a guy that still doesn't have a hit so far this season. Very speedy on the base pass. 6 stolen bases so far with 5 walks. Does have an RBI sac fly as well, but just a guy that needs a hit. He batted .286 at Wofford this past season as a freshman.
Tyler Bach, the hitters at Wofford, and Charlie Condon, the pitcher also at Wofford. 2 familiar
be his new
faces.
Teammate next year. Of course, Condon not playing an inning of collegiate ball just yet, but come fall, these two will both be down in Spartansburg together.
Little preview of some live at-bats right now.
Runners at first and second here for the Stallions with 2 outs in the top of the second. That one's grounded over to the left side. Tossed to second for out number 3. So the Stallions strand 2 here in the top of the second. We're knotted at zeros as we head to the bottom half. Dan Shalom here alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, Nick Pettit out there for his second inning of work and was able to get out of the jam last inning with by way of a Jacoby Dale 6-4-3 double play.
Although he did give up that first hit single, put it in the paper shredder and put it away. Got the double play and then that 3rd out to solidify that first inning going perfect.
Pettit, a guy who had a 5.25 ERA in 24 innings pitched this past year at Radford, has a 0 so far this season, AJ. He has been dirty. After that outing against Oneonta, he led the league in strikeouts with 19 for a solid 5 days before his teammate Elias Conway overtook him up in Glens Falls. So everything clicking for this guy right now.
In reality, it's the Rich Doobie effect. You look at it with an amazing pitching coach like Rich Doobie with immense experience and college kids that just need a tweak or two and they're 10 times better. Rich Doobie is giving that to them every single day.
It'll be the left fielder Jack Hopko digging in. Hopko, a staple of this lineup. He's batting .400 through 9 games this season. That one's outside for ball 1.
Pettit and Manley becoming more familiar with each other. Manley caught him last Tuesday against Oneonta, so this will be their second time pitcher-catcher relationship.
And second time together against Oneonta.
So seeing some familiar bats as well.
Pettit loves to pitch against Oneonta. Pitched in the opener here at Damaski Field. Pitched against them at Cantine. And now right back here in Oneonta for his 4th appearance of the season. The 3-0. That one's in there for strike 1.
Stallions looking to get Oneonta off their 3-game win streak. 3 wins. They're one against Glen Falls. 2 wins, I am sorry. 2, one against Boonville. And then 1 against Watertown. So looking to stop it right now.
Pettit doing a great job getting himself back in this count. It's full here with nobody out in the bottom of the 2nd. The payoff pitch misses off the outside. And the Outlaws have a base runner here for the 2nd straight inning with nobody out.
Dan, a pitcher that throws his off-speed on a 3-2 shows immense confidence with it. 3-2 curveball is not a pitch that a pitcher usually throws. Nick Pettit, almost threw it for a strike there right on the outside corner.
It'll bring the first baseman Connor Wading to the dish. Wading playing his last game on Sunday night against Boonville. He went 1 for 4 in that one, had a home run. That one was a 2-run shot. Popped up on the right side. May is running over to it. He's going to run out of room. That one's foul.
Stallions and the Outlaws with a lot of home runs this year, more than most of the PGCBL. We see the Outlaws with 5 and the Stallions doubling it with 10.
That leads the league, 10 home runs in the PGCBL. Pettit gives a check over there to Hopko. Hopko this season, 3 stolen bases on the year. So a guy to watch out for over there at first. Pettit comes set. Here's the pitch. That one's rocked to left field. Will it stay fair? No. That one's going to be foul, but AJ, if that one did stay fair, it would have been a 2-run jack.
That would have been the Outlaws' 6th home run and the first home run that Nick Pettit would have given up this year.
Would have been the first home run the staff as a whole would have given up. And it also would have been Connor Wading's 2nd home run in 2 games.
When a hitter's hot, it's hard to get him off that hot streak.
And that left field is short out there, only 335, so if you can pull it to that part of the ballpark, good things will happen. The 0-2 gets him going for strike 3. So after nearly giving up a home run, Pettit gets waiting for his first strikeout of the night, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Pettit with his 20th strikeout of the season, only 1 behind Conway now. And Conway thinking, I want to hold that the leader one.
And I think Pettit saying, hey, I only need 2 more strikeouts. It's the bottom of the 2nd. I got plenty of time here. Next batter he faces will be the DH Brendan Connolly. First pitch to him is fouled back for strike 1.
And something that Blackmore needs to be aware of today, 53 stolen bases for the Outlaws. A speedy team going from your first batter to your 9 batter. Blackmore needs to know that right now before they start taking advantage of the base running.
That runner at first is Hopko here with 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd. The 0-1 from Pettit. Hopko goes. The hit and run, perfection. Hopko's going to get over to third. Williams gets it in. And AJ, that stolen base just took Trivella out of position right there.
The stolen base, the shortstop takes it usually when a righty is up. When a lefty is up, the second baseman takes it. But right there, Trivella took it, forcing him for that shortstop area to be wide open.
Yeah, and Connolly doing a great job just poking it through the gap. So now there's runners at first and third here with 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd. It'll bring up Lucas Grantham, the catcher. Grantham batting .167 this season through just 6 games. First pitch from Pettit is knocked out to the right center field gap. It'll get down. Dieter fields it on a hop, throws it in, and the Outlaws have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Moving up to second is Grantham. So he's got himself an RBI single here in the bottom of the second.
That is Pettit's first earned run given up. Something that I don't think the Stallions expected coming into this game with 2 no-sweat wins the past 2.
Number 21, Dylan Millman.
It'll be Dylan Millman who will try and keep the line going here for the Outlaws. He's the extra hitter in this game. 250 on the season, has 3 RBIs, and there's 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 out. Good block by Blackmore, doesn't let the runners advance. And in the first 2 games between these 2 squads, Oneonta only putting up a singular run, that being in the top of the 7th in the Stallions' 7-1 win against Cantine Field. So they've never trailed to the Outlaws so far this year. Off-speed is in there for strike 1.
3 hits for Nick Pettit in the second inning of play is unusual. Like we said, a 0-0-0 coming into this. High expectations for him on the mound today, and it's only 1 run.
Runners are at second and third. Millman at the dish. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. That one's in there for strike 2.
We've seen the Outlaws aggressive on the bases today, going hit and run, going stolen base. And then right there on that single, he advanced to second because they weren't paying attention with no one covering second.
Yeah, missed throw by Dieter out there and right allowed Grantham to move up to second. Here's Pettit's 1-2. That one's poked right up the middle. Trivella fields it, will throw to first, an RBI ground out here for Dylan Millman, and it's a 2-0 Outlaw lead in the bottom of the second.
The first time the Stallions are really trailing the Outlaws. Like we said, 11-0, 7-1, now 2-0 back at the Maskey Field for the 3rd matchup of the season.
Back-to-back RBIs here for the Outlaws in the bottom of the second, gives them a 2-0 lead. It'll bring Jaden Ross, the right fielder, up. He's batting .200 this season, but does have 7 RBIs, so a guy that you want up in this situation here with the runner at third. Pettit's first pitch misses outside. It's ball 1.
Pettit having a similar trouble like Charlie Condon. The off-speed having trouble finding it for a strike. We saw 1 against Hopko. That was really 1 of 2 that we saw so far in his outing.
Pettit misses down low. Now, the Outlaws leading against the top of the league is nothing new for them. They did beat Amsterdam 10-4 at Shuttleworth Park. They're the only other team besides the Stallions to take down the Mohawks this season, so they know how to play against good competition, and they themselves sit at 3rd in the league coming into this game. That one's in there for strike 1.
Outlaws really just finding the time to gel. It takes a few weeks for a team that has no idea about each other to gel and understand each other's play.
2-1 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Pettit gets it in there, and it's now 2-2.
Back-to-back curveballs for Pettit. We just talked about him not throwing for a strike. Well, completely proved me wrong.
So lots of 2s on the board. It's 2-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the second with the Outlaws leading by 2. Pettit comes set. Here's the pitch. Gets him for strike 3. Pettit's second strikeout of the night, and that ends the inning. So Pettit now with 20 strikeouts on the year. Gets 2 here in the bottom of the second, but the Outlaws jump ahead 2-0. Stallions coming to bat when we come back. You're watching the Saugerties Stallions YouTube channel. Dan Shalom here alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, the Stallions offense needs to get going here. First time they've trailed to the Outlaws all season long.
First time of the season against the Outlaws. It's there for a reason, though. We only have one hit through two. Charlie Condon doing a great job keeping the ball in the air or on the ground. Nick Pettit giving up 3 hits through 2 so far with 2 runs, so a little bit of struggle so far in this game, but as a pitcher, it's got to happen eventually.
The Stallions have put the ball in play. Only 1 strikeout so far this evening through 9 batters, and they've also had 2 walks and a single by Fritz Genther. So runners have been on base, just haven't been able to get them home. Condon's out there for his 3rd inning of work. It'll be Evan Dieter, the right fielder, tonight up at the dish. Last night went 1 for 4 against Boonville, came around to score. Condon tosses strike 1. Dieter this season batting .208 through 8 games. That one, they will say, just skimmed the gear of the catcher. Count is 1-1.
To take a look at Condon's stats against the first game of the season against the Stallions, he also pitched 3 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, 1 of them being earned with 1 hit, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So been pretty consistent throughout the beginning of the season.
Here's the 1-2. Off-speed misses down low, and the count's now 2-2. He came in relief for Thorsland. Thorsland starting off the game 2 2/3 innings pitch. Stallions blowing him up. 8 runs scored in that one before Condon made his first appearance of the season. Strike 3 gets Dieter looking. Second strikeout of the night for Condon, and now it's the top of the order here for the Stallions with Mario Travella.
Travella looking to do the same thing last night, like we said, a home run shy of the cycle, putting up a single, double, triple, 3 RBIs, and coming around to score twice.
First pitch to Travella is in there for a strike. That one's fouled off to the left side. Stallions trailing by 2 after a 2-run bottom of the second for the Outlaws. First time they've trailed to Oneonta this season. Trying to get back on track here in the top of the 3rd with Mario Travella at the dish. The 0-2 from Condon, that one's upstairs. And AJ, we didn't see the Stallions offense really get going till the bottom of the 4th last night, so not a real reason to hit the panic button just yet.
All of them waiting for the right pitch. We said not swinging at the first pitch, not being that aggressive at the plate today so far. And in the first 4 innings yesterday, they didn't swing at the first pitch, more or less the second pitch.
And now Travella's done a great job here. He went from 0-2 to now a full count.
3rd full count of the day for the Stallions and the Outlaws combined. Yesterday, 14.
There was also 14 the day before against Glens Falls. So the Stallions hitters doing a great job, and Travella works himself a walk here with 1 out in the top of the 3rd.
Condon as well as Pettit feeling comfortable on that 3-2 off speed. Both of them trusting their catchers, trusting that it's going to land for a strike. And if it doesn't, they're trusting their defense.
It'll bring the guy with the only hit tonight for the Stallions, Fritz Genther, to the dish. Singled in that top of the 1st. Eventually got over to 2nd, but never came around to score.
Genther done with his college days for ball, but looking to play in the Indy League. A very solidified player, a 5-tool player that you want on your team.
Local guy as well from Kingston, New York. Has spent time with the Stallions before and is back here in the 2024 PGCBL season. Gives a check over on Travella.
Condon very aware of his surroundings on 1st, 2nd, 3rd. That's his 5th time trying to pick someone off at first base today compared to Pettit's 1.
Trivella has a singular stolen base this season. That one's looped out to right field. Charging at it is Ross, and he's got it for out number 2.
Condon just making fly balls easy for his outfielders and making ground balls easy for his infielders through 2 so far.
It'll bring the DH Ryan Rescio to the plate. Rescio striking out, swinging in that top of the first.
Rescio, a player that was our player of the game in May 31st at the Maskey against Oneonta. Went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, looking to do the same thing and letting history repeat itself.
Takes that one for ball 1. Rescio also playing the hero against Amsterdam in the first matchup of the season against the Mohawks at Cantine Field, delivering the walk-off hit and a 5-4 win. Stallions will host Amsterdam tomorrow at home. Make sure to be there for that one. Going over to second is Trivella. He was going to be out, but actually lodged the ball free of Carrera over there at second. So a really athletic play by Trivella gets him his second stolen base of the season.
That gets the Stallions' 36th stolen base of the season, but still, Outlaws have 53. Putting it in comparison, we've seen the Stallions steal a ton this season. Hit and runs, stealing, the Outlaws outmatching that.
Yeah, and it was a really good throw down by Grantham. Beat Trivella by a mile, but Carrera just couldn't stick with the ball. So now in a 1-1 count here with 2 outs in the top of the third, Trivella will stand at second. Second runner in scoring position of the game here for Saugerties. That one misses inside, and it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That one misses off the outside, and it's 3-1.
Stallions, a team that is used to getting RBIs 1 through 9, 97 through 13 games. Now, with 0 through 2, the bats are going to get angry, and they're going to start hitting the ball hard.
AJ, that RBI stat, like you mentioned, that's best in the PGCBL 97 between East and West. They need one right now to make it 98. Here's the 3-1. That one was a strike, but it gets by Grantham, and moving to third is Trivella. He's going to come home, play at the plate, and Trivella's safe.
Trivella with a heads-up play. Without Trivella seeing that Grantham wasn't at home and Condon wasn't going to cover, he thought, why wouldn't I run home? He did just that, and now they're only trailing by 1.
So Trivella, after walking, steals his way around the bases and is the first run of the game here for the Stallions. It's 2-1 Outlaws.
The most ironic part is that it was a strike, too.
Yeah, full count here to Rescio in the top of the third. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Rescio fouls that one off, and we'll do it one more time at 3-2.
4th full count of the day. The fans are running for the ball after every foul ball here at the Maskey. It's a good environment here.
Yeah, packed house here on this Tuesday night. The payoff pitch is down low. Rescio works himself a walk. It's the second walk of the inning for the Stallions, and it'll bring the extra hitter Justin Ford to the plate here with 2 outs.
A costly decision there for the Outlaws, letting one of the hottest hitters get up. Doesn't matter how many outs there are.
Now, AJ, you see the guy who's grabbing the bat there from Justin Ford who just walked through the screen? That's Andrew Amato, the PGCBL League MVP in 2023. He's here with the team already. He's ready to go.
Looking forward to his first start in the next upcoming days. Hasn't released anything yet, so everyone in Saugerties is curious. But when we know something, we'll let you know.
An absolute monster in the PGCBL last season. It'll be interesting to see how head coach Colin Martin stacks the squad. If you draw things up, of course, Conrad and Hott with the off day tonight, but that's a murderer's row right there. You get Conrad, you throw in Hott, and then to end it off Amato. I mean, name me a better core 3 in the PGCBL.
It's very hard to, and no pitcher, no matter what your first name is or your last name is going to want to face them throughout any game this season.
Here's the 1-1 to Ford. Off-speed misses, and the count's 2-1. And Grantham seemed upset with that call there behind the plate.
As a catcher, you sometimes lose control of where the plate is and where your glove is in comparison to it. That's probably what happened with Grantham there.
Resio stands at first here with 2 outs. He will go to second. Throw down by Grantham. He's out. So Resio is caught stealing to end the inning, but the Stallions get one back here in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half. Outlaws leading by 1. Dan Shalom here alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Bottom of the third here from Damaski Field. And AJ, we got to talk about the athleticism and the determination of Mario Trivella there in that top half of the third to get the Stallions their first run of the game.
Trivella doing exactly what he does, and the reason he's batting 1 today for the Stallions. He gets on base, a 3-2 count, the second of the day, turns into a walk for Trivella, steals second, and then on a 3-1 count, curl ball to Resio, he steals third, and no one is covering home. What's he do? He runs home. His speed showed everything right there.
Just a heads-up play there by Trivella to get the Stallions their first run of the game. It's 2-1 here in the bottom of the third. Nick Pettit out for his third inning of work. He'll face the 10-hole hitter Nicholas Delvecchio, the second baseman. That one's fouled back for strike 1. Now, Delvecchio this season is batting .250 through 3 games, so a small sample size. Played his last game on Sunday night against Boonville, went 1 for 3 in that one, but came around twice to score. Here's the 0-1. That one's grounded up the middle. Trivella's got it, throws to first, in time for out number 1.
Delvecchio, the last batter in that lineup, a must out, right? Stallions needed that out to get to the top of the order with no one on base because there is 3 hits already in this game.
It'll bring Matt Carrera to the dish, and Carrera, AJ, in this game had the first hit, a leadoff one against Pettit, was first pitch swinging as well and just lined the ball to left center field.
Having an okay season with a .250 average through 16 at-bats, adding himself 2 RBIs.
That one's in there for strike 1. Pettit comes set. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back. And Pettit's got himself ahead here, 0-2.
Pettit did not like that second inning whatsoever and is like, I'm done playing around, start to get outs.
He's 1 strike away from becoming the PGCBL leader in strikeouts once again if he can punch out Carrera right here. That one's popped up on the infield to the right side. Rodriguez shades over, and he's got it for out number 2. So 2 quick outs here for the Stallions in the bottom of the third.
A ground ball to Trivella and a fly ball to Rodriguez. The second base shortstop dream you want.
They're really, really solid at second and short together. And all these guys on the infield outside of May, you can shift them around to any position, short, second, or third, and they're more than comfortable. Tanner Hardin digging in now. Hardin in this game lined out to left field for the first out of Pettit's outing.
Hardin, Wofford, going into a rising freshman. A .333 this season so far, over 30 at-bats, with 8 RBIs, a consistent lefty at the plate.
This guy's going to be teammates with Tyler Bach out in center field, and also Cullen Condon, who's a starter on the mound tonight for the Outlaws.
A lot of Wofford familiar faces around here. Some of them might not even know that they're playing each other, but they will in a few months when they hit the baseball field.
Here's the 3-0. That one's in there for a strike. 2 outs, bottom of the third. Sun starting to set here at Damaski Field. Temperature cooling down a little bit. A beautiful night here in Oneonta. The 3-1 gets Harden swinging, and now it's a full count. Pettit doing a beautiful job working out of that 3-0 hole.
5th full count, only in the bottom of the third. People fighting back, the pitchers losing their groove a little bit. It's a combination of both.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one's down low, and Harden's worked himself a 2-out walk here in the bottom of the third.
Harden just doing a great job getting on base. Like we said, Dan, a .333 average. Does it with the hitting and does it with the plate discipline as well.
And now one of the best hitters in the Outlaws lineup, Jacoby Dale, the center fielder, coming to the dish. Dale batting .368 this season and had a home run along with 3 RBIs last night against Watertown. That pitch is hit over on the right side. Chasing it is Dieter. It's going to fall foul.
Dale, like you said, Dan, the best hitter on the Outlaws. Batting third today, playing center field. Speedy guy with Hopko in left. Nothing's getting in the gap in left field, but if you look at the bat, 9 RBIs with a .368 average. Hard to get him out.
The guy went 4 for 5 last night against Watertown. Has been consistent through 10 games this season. Here's the 0-1, dashing to second is Harden. It's put in play. Trevella's got it, throws to first for out number 3. So the Stallions put up a 0 here in the third. We head to the fourth, Oneonta leading by 1. Dan Schaum with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pac Cup broadcast booth. Top of the fourth, and AJ, it took this offense a little while to get going against Boonville last night.
Looking for a repeat in history for the Stallions. Although they're not at Cantine, the bats are still hot. Putting up 1 run in the bottom of the third, and then 4 in the bottom of the fourth. Looking to do the same thing today.
The Oneonta lead stands at 1 through 3. Oneonta putting up 2 runs in that bottom half of the second, those both being an RBI single by Lucas Grantham and then an RBI ground out by Dylan Millman. And it'll be Justin Ford. He was at the dish last inning, AJ, but then Ryan Rescio got sniped over there at second base to end the inning.
Saved him a little bit there. He was in a 1-2 count. Getting a brand new no-no count here, looking to put the ball in play.
Takes the first pitch for ball 1. And like we mentioned, Ford's been a guy that's been tearing it up lately. At least 2 hits in his last 3 games. Grounds this one to the left side. Harden fields it, throws across the diamond, and can't pick it there. First is waiting. Ford's going to stay at first. So an error over there, and E3 allows Ford to reach.
And E3, that ball has to get scooped. You got to follow with the glove. A hard play, but just not someone you want on base. That's just a speedy dude with Blackmore up.
Yeah, Ford, like we mentioned, has speed, has a triple this season, that coming against Albany in the 12-12 tie. And also a stolen base. It'll be Josh Blackmore for his second at-bat. He walked in the top half of the second. Cullen's still out there for his 4th inning of work. That one's fouled off to the right side, and it seems like Blackmore was checking his swing a little bit there.
Blackmore thought he liked it, and then kind of pulled it away last second, hesitated, foul ball.
Ford leads off of first. Outlaws leading by 1 here in the top of the 4th. Blackmore this season batting .348 coming into this game. The 0-1 to him is upstairs for ball one.
Stallion's going to be a little hesitant now, stealing the bag. They saw the arm of Grantham. He has a cannon behind the plate.
Yeah, and also Cullen's done a really good job of checking the runners over there first, really not giving them anything. That one is a tailor-made double play. Carrera over to first, and they get it. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Carrera to Delvecchio over to Waiting. Waiting able to scoop that one, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
The way the game is going today, Dan, you get a single. The way we've seen it, the next batter going into a double play. They've got to either steal, bunt, hit and run. We got to get runners in scoring position to tie this game up.
Yeah, 6-4-3 double plays. 1 for the Outlaws, 1 for the Stallions in this game. So it's been really tough getting runners on base. But Ben Williams knocks that one into the left field for a 2-out knock. Just a nice job of hitting right there, not trying to do too much.
Ben Williams seeing the ball well. Not the average you think he has. Only coming into this game with a .217, but it's deceiving. He gets on base way more, an OPS of .661. He does a job on the bag. And in the outfield, you want the ball to go to him. He wants to make that catch.
Very comfortable out there in the outfield. It'll bring Jarrett May to the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Takes ball 1. And AJ, you now draw back on that double play. The Stallions, theoretically here, if Blackmore is able to get on base, would have the bases loaded. 1-0's upstairs, counts 2-0.
May just looking to put the ball at any part in the field that sees green. He needs to see one land. He needs to get the confidence booster for the next at-bat and more to come.
That one's upstairs. It'll be a strike. It's 2-1. His last 2 at-bats against Glens Falls on Sunday, AJ, a line out over to third and then a hard hit ball to center field. Both those, if they were in other places, would have gone down for a hit. Here's the 2-1. Williams goes to second. No throw, so a stolen base here for Ben Williams. And the Stallions have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
37th stolen base of the year for the Stallions, and I thought they would be hesitant after the absolute great throw by Grantham right there for the out on Resio to end the inning. But no, 1 out isn't going to make a difference.
So now May just trying to do a job at the plate, put the ball into the outfield. Here's the 2-2. Swings through it for strike 3. Stallions strand a runner at second. The Outlaws lead it by 1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Dan Challen with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the bottom of the 4th from Damaski Field. And AJ, the Stallions offense just having trouble getting going in this one.
No errors there for the Stallions again, but we look at the Outlaws. 2 errors. Miss-scooped ball at first and a mishap at third base. Now, those 2 errors have to be taken advantage of there, and at least another run has to get put on.
Yeah, the Stallions' leadoff hitter in that top of the 4th, Justin Ford, did reach, but then a 6-4-3 double play turned by the Outlaws shut everything down. Nick Pettit is out there for his 4th inning of work. He'll face Jack Hopko here to start the bottom of the 4th.
Hopko, 25 at-bats so far, and a 400 average. Ethan Conrad's stats, not just there, though. 7 RBIs compared to Conrad's 15, but a consistent hitter.
A consistent hitter indeed. That's the best way to put it. He also, AJ, coming into this game, 7 RBIs, 4 walks, went 1 for 1 against Watertown, came in as a pinch hitter and aided the Outlaws with 2 RBIs in that one last night. That was an 8-7 win up there in Watertown. But Pettit's ahead of him here in a 1-2 count.
Hearing from the Oneonta broadcaster, I heard it was a complicated win. I heard a lot of things were going on, reviews, people yelling at each other. I heard it wasn't a complete
so let's
solo
talk
win.
about that a little bit. The Outlaws led the game 8-2 going into the bottom of the 9th, and then Watertown put up 5 but couldn't get across that last sacred run. That would have tied the game at 8-8, so the Outlaws escaping by the skin of their teeth, up there in Watertown. 2-2 count here to Jack Hopko. Hopko in this game walked in the bottom of the 2nd. Pettit misses down low and the count goes full.
6th full count of the day, combination between the Stallions and the Outlaws. Batters and pitchers doing a good job.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one's hit out to right center field. Charging at it is Bach. He's got it for out number 1.
Bach, a perfect center fielder for the Stallions. You have Conrad in right, and then you switch off between multiple people day to day. But Bach as your center fielder is something that you look forward to when the ball is hit to center field.
Like you mentioned, the outfielders on the squad getting lots of play time. Those 4 being Conrad, Williams, Bach, Cuello, and then the 5th, Dieter. So Dieter's in the lineup tonight. He's out there in right. So with 1 out, it's Connor Wading, the first baseman, up. First pitch swinging, pops it up out to right field. Dieter's charging, and he's got it. A quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
A crazy stat for the Stallions. 4 out of the 5 outfielders throw lefty. Dieter's a lefty, Ben Williams a lefty, Bach a lefty, Conrad a lefty, but the only one out of it, Justin Ford, righty-righty. And Cuello is also a righty. So actually 4 out of the 6.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Brendan Connolly, the DH. Connolly rips that one to the right side. It goes off May's glove, but it will be foul.
Almost looked like it was fair, hitting off his glove in fair territory.
It was very confusing there. Now, Connolly will go back to first. He originally went up to first, but the umpires will call it foul.
Looked like May was out of play on that foul ball. Glove to the right of the line there on the hit off.
So now it's an 0-1 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Pettit's done a really nice job settling into this game after that bottom half of the 2nd. Here's the 0-1. That one just misses upstairs, and it's 1-1.
After that bottom of the 2nd, we've seen no hits, no runs, and Nick Pettit just being Nick Pettit.
Here's the 1-1. That one's fouled back, and it's 1-2. Pettit searching for strikeout number 22. If he gets it, it would lead the PGCBL. He's currently tied with his teammate Elias Conway at 21. Here's the pitch to Connolly. Down low, and it's now 2-2.
You say strikeouts, Nick Pettit's almost 22nd, but over the season, 126, leading the PGCBL in strikeouts.
Yeah, the staff's done a great job, and they're going against a squad, AJ, who has 113 strikeouts on the season. That's 3rd worst in the PGCBL. Here's the 2-2. That one misses on the inside, and the count will go full here with 2 outs.
7th full count, but going from a 1-2 to a 3-2 is not usually what Nick Pettit does.
Full count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the payoff. Gets him with the off speed. Nick Pettit now leads the PGCBL in strikeouts and pitches a clean 1-2-3 bottom of the fourth. We head to the fifth, Oneonta leading by 1. Dan Challam here alongside AJ DiBenedetto, gearing up for the fifth inning. AJ and Cullen Condon, the starting pitcher here for the Outlaws, going very long in this game and has held the Stallions at bay through 4.
Second longest start for him of the season. The only one longer, June 5th in an 11-7 win against Boonville. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, both of those being earned, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So an absolute awesome start for Charlie Condon.
He's been very efficient as well. It's only 8:06 p.m. We started this game at 7, and it's already the 5th inning.
This game is going fast. It's been a pitcher's duel. We saw 3 hits for the Outlaws, 2 hits for the Stallions. An unusual game for both of them.
It'll be 8, 9, 10 coming up here for the Stallions in the top half of the 5th. That being Rodriguez, Bach, and then Dieter to round things out. Stallions putting their only run of the game up in that top half of the 3rd with some great base running by Mario Travella. And they're going to need to work deep in some counts here against Cullen Condon if they want to get this game tied up.
Cullen Condon forcing them to really not swing on that first pitch. He's forcing them to kind of get off guard, and if they do swing, it's been an out most of the time, putting it on the ground to the infield, or an easy fly ball to Hopko or Dale.
So Rich Rodriguez digs in. He walked in that top half of the 2nd, batting .308 coming into the season. One of the most consistent infielders on the entire squad. First pitch to him is a strike. The 0-1. Poke to the right side, it will be foul. And quickly, Condon is ahead 0-2.
Rodriguez kind of just throwing his bat at that one. Didn't like it, but knew it would be called a strike there. So wanted to just get the ball in play, and he's lucky it really wasn't a fair ball.
0-2 count here to Rodriguez. Top half of the 5th, Outlaws leading by 1. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside, and it's 1-2.
Cullen, 11 strikeouts in that June 5th appearance against Boonville. Just looking to just do this kind of the same thing today.
Misses outside, and the count's now 2-2. We've seen it a lot throughout this game, AJ. Pitchers up 0-2, 1-2, and then these hitters really getting deep into the count.
Although he only has 3 strikeouts this game so far, nothing comparable to that 11, he's doing a great job on the mound.
That one's fouled back, and the count will be 2-2 here in the top half of the 5th. Stallions trying to tie this game up and hopefully tie it up en route to their 12th win of the season, sitting atop the PGCBL standings. Here's the 2-2. That one misses outside, and Rodriguez doing a great job going from 0-2 now to full.
0-2 to 3-2. Like you said, Dan, 7th full count of the day.
Here's the payoff. Misses upstairs. They're going to say that Rodriguez went around, so as he was trying to get out of the way of the pitch, the bat does break the plane, and there's one out here in the top of the 5th.
That's an unfortunate series of events there for Rodriguez. That hurts right on the fingers of the high-velocity pitcher. but it's just natural reaction, just going around. You don't want to get hit in the face. You're trying to protect your face, and sometimes you go around causing it to be a strike.
It'll bring the center fielder Tyler back to the dish. And, AJ, perfect time for Bach to get his first knock of the season. Still searching for it. Grounded out over to third base in his first at-bat. That was in the top half of the second.
These matchups will be getting laughed at in a few months at Wofford. Just trying to see who will get bragging rights here in a few months when they end up having their matchups.
Condon seems like he's going to have it so far. Bach is down here in an 0-2 count with one out. Here's the pitch. Hits that one to center field, and Tyler Bach's got himself his first hit of the year.
Bach really wanted to go to second there. He rounded first with pure intention of going right to second. But Bach, with his first hit, a well-deserved first hit, and definitely something that's going to be talked about in a few months at Wofford.
A guy that needs it more than anybody right now. Gets his first knock of the season, and with one out, it'll bring the right fielder Evan Dieter up.
Dieter so far in the third inning, a strikeout, looking to just not do that again.
And AJ, something now Condon really has to watch is Tyler Bach's speed. We saw in his debut at Utica, 5 stolen bases. Would come around and steal home in that one as well.
Condon doing a great job being aware of the runners on first, but it's very hard to keep aware of someone that has an intention of running every pitch.
And there's the check by Condon. 6th pickoff of this game. Hasn't been successful with any of them just yet, but must watch the speedy Bach over there at first. He goes to second. Throw down from Grantham. Not in time. The ball gets away. So Bach's got his 7th stolen base of the season, and now a runner in scoring position here for the Stallions in the top of the 5th.
A perfect pitch to steal on, an off-speed pitch there by Condon. Really hard for Grantham to get the ball, transfer it to his ear, and make a perfect throw for a speedy guy like Bach.
And AJ, now anything hit to the outfield will tie up this game. So
although Hopko and Dale have 2 of one of the highest velocity arms in the PGCBL.
It's got to be driven deep. Here's the 1-1. That one's fouled back for strike 2. And AJ, you think there's a scenario here where Bach maybe dashes over to third?
Possible hit and run scenario here. Dieter in a 1-2 count, expecting off-speed. Condon been consistent with it so far.
Here's the 1-2. That one's upstairs for ball 2.
Condon hammering the inside today. We saw to Rodriguez a strikeout on a natural reaction, and now Dieter inches away from getting hit.
Bach stands at second. Here's the 2-2. Fouled back. And we'll do it again at 2-2.
Both teams on win streaks coming into this game. The Outlaws on a 2, the Stallions on a 3. Both teams looking to extend it, but one's got to go down.
Tightly contested matchup here from Damaski Field. Stallions looking to tie it up here in the top of the 5th. Bach is at second. Here's the 2-2. That one's inside, and the count goes full.
8th full count of the day, and he keeps on hammering the inside. Condon loving the inside, and Grantham not disagreeing with it. It's been working so far for them.
2nd full count of this inning. Here's the payoff pitch. Upstairs, they're going to say he does not go around. So a walk here for Evan Dieter with 1 out in the inning.
This is a situation that you do not want. 2 runners on with one of the hottest hitters in the PGCBL coming up.
And if you remember, Trivella, his only home run of the year, AJ, coming at Damaski Field in the opener.
Off of an off-speed pitch as well.
So runners are at first and second here for the Stallions. 1 out in the top of the 5th. That one's upstairs, misses for ball 1.
Trivella just looking to continue the greatness he's been on this past week and a half. Like we said last night, single, double, triple, 3 RBIs, and coming around to score twice. You really cannot get better than that.
Perfect chance for the cycle through 2 games if he can get a homer right here. Dieter is at second, Bach at second, Dieter at first. This one's hit into the outfield. We'll see if they test the arm of Dale. They will. Here's the throw. Coming home is Bach, and he's in there. We have a tie game here from Damaski Field. It's 2-2.
Trivella doing exactly what he needed to do. Bach on second, a single up the middle, and no matter how strong Jacoby Dale's arm is in center, it's no match for the speed of Tyler Bach.
So now that's the fourth RBI for Trivella through 2 games. He's been the hottest bat in the lineup. It'll bring up another guy who's been hitting as of late, and Fritz Genther, the third baseman, has a single here tonight.
Going 4 for 6 these past 2 games with a walk and 4 RBIs. It really gets you player of the week, maybe.
We shall see who our Pack Hub player of the week will be. Decide that one over on Sunday. We got a while to go before then, including 2 matchups with Amsterdam tomorrow night and on Thursday. All of those will be right here on the Stallions YouTube channel. And we'll see how the Stallions fare against a squad they've gone 1-1 against this year. That one's hit to the left side. It will get through. Coming around to score is Dieter. He will be in there. This ball gets past. Both runners are going to move up, and a beautiful job here by Fritz Genther drives home Evan Dieter, and the Stallions lead at 3-2.
You got a single from Trivella when it matters. You got a single from Fritz Genther when it matters. This team is clutch. The clutch is the perfect word. They do it when it matters.
We're going to see a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen in the top half of the 5th. Stallions threatening. They've got runners at second and third here with 1 out in the inning. And AJ, there's a chance here Condon still stays in this game. At first, the head coach signaled over to the bullpen, but ends up talking with Condon, and sometimes you see that where the pitcher maybe convinces his head coach, hey, I got this one, let me stay in this game. So no call to the bullpen. They're going to stick it here with Condon.
Dan, you're definitely right. Condon said some words there to the coach saying, I want to finish this inning out. You see a pitcher out in the bullpen at left field, that 335 sign. There's definitely someone ready to come in for him.
Yeah, there was a pitcher ready and warming, but they'll stick with Condon. He'll face Ryan Resio here with 1 out in the top half of the 5th. Resio fouls the first pitch. It's 0-1. Runner at third is Trivella. Genther over at second. Back-to-back RBI singles has given the Stallions a 3-2 lead here in the top half of the 5th. Here's the 0-1. That one grounded foul.
Stallions scoring when they need to. Yesterday, we saw it happen in the 4th inning. Now, in the 5th inning. In the middle of the game, if they don't have a lot of hits, it's going to happen.
Well, AJ, they also scored 2 in that bottom.
2 RBIs added to your name.
Resio searching for RBIs 7 and 8. Has 6 so far in the season. Here's the 0-2. Down low for ball 1.
Not so much of a sunset here in Oneonta tonight. More of a cloudy, clear day with just a mountain view in front of us.
A big relief. It was 95 degrees today, and now the temperature going down significantly, sitting at 81. Those 14 degrees, a huge difference. And the sun's going down as well, so no more sun in your eyes. Players will just have to battle against the lights in their eyes. Here's the 2-2. That one gets by Grantham. Coming home is Trivella. He will score without a throw, and the Stallions lead at 4-2.
2 runs by Trivella, coming around twice to score, both of them on a pass ball by Grantham. He's regretting it right now. It should be a 2-2 score.
Both of those runs going on his line as pass balls. Trivella doing a great job. Genther moves up to third, and now a sac fly will plate the 5th run of this game here for the Stallions. The payoff pitch, hit to the left side, grabbed by Harden. He throws to first there for out number 2. He did a really good job checking over there on Genther and not allowing him to move.
Genther was ready to go if he didn't look at him. Did a great job there looking at him, a great throw. But in reality, Dan, 3 hours are taken away from this game. This game's a tie game 2-2. It really shows you how important preventing errors is.
And how important it is to take advantage of the errors as well when they're given to you. Justin Ford, the extra hitter tonight, he digs in for his second plate appearance. Appeared last inning, reached on an E3 that Wading couldn't handle over at first. The 1-0 to him misses for ball 2. And Ford, a guy that's batting .387 coming into this game through just 10 games. There's a reason he's the cleanup hitter. He's been one of the hottest bats on this squad as of late. He also has great plate vision as well, getting himself into a 3-0 count here.
You can imagine if Condon walks this batter, with Josh Blackmore up next and a pitcher in the bullpen almost ready to come out, they might have a sub coming in soon.
And what do you think about that right there? Ford with the green light on the 3-0?
Up 4-2 with the way he's seeing the ball, there's no reason you should ever give a hitter the red light when you're batting a .387 coming into a game.
So now it's 3-1, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Stallions have plated 3 to take a 2-run lead. That one misses on the outside, and Ford walks here with 2 outs. There'll be runners at first and third for Josh Blackmore, and this time, AJ, you're right, we are going to see the Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Dan Shalom with you here alongside AJ DiBenedetto. The Outlaws making a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Cullen Condon leaves the game with a line of 4 2/3 innings pitched. 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, and 3 Ks. He is responsible for the runners at first and third, those being Genther at third and then Ford over at first. AJ, what should we know about the new pitcher in this game?
Martin Thorsland, number 10, the 6'4", rising sophomore from Maryland, New York. We saw him so far, no wins on the season, but does carry 2 losses on the shoulders. A 6.75 ERA through 4 games, starting one of them. 9 1/3 inning pitched, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and allowing 15 hits. More of a contact pitcher here, Dan.
Yeah, and he has faced the Stallions so far this season, AJ. That was in the opener.
In the opener on May 31st, Stallions came to the Mascate Field. He pitched 2 2/3, 8 runs allowed, 6 of those being earned. Stallions' bats were hot that day, 9 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he faced 20 batters.
Through 2 2/3 innings. That's a lot. We'll see how the Stallions fare against him here in the top half of the 5th. They've put up 3 runs already, looking to add some more. Genther is over at third, and Ford's at first. It'll be the catcher, Josh Blackmore, at the plate.
Blackmore so far in the 2nd inning, a walk, and then in the 4th inning, we saw a double play, an unusual thing by Blackmore, coming into this game batting a .357.
You don't usually see that from Josh Blackmore, but a perfect opportunity to turn it around right here. First pitch is a strike. Two outs here in this top half of the 5th. Stallions have taken the lead for the first time in this game. Here's the 0-1. Off-speed misses. It's 1-1.
Stallions got to know that they face this guy in their first matchup of the season. Tons of hits. He hammers their strike zone. Put the ball in play and good things are going to happen.
Runners at first and third here with 2 outs. Thorsland comes set. That one's hit into center field for a base hit. It's going to bring Genther home. Ford is going to go to third, and the Stallions have taken a 5-2 lead here in the top half of the fifth.
Dan, like I said, put the ball in play and good things are going to happen. What a great hit there by Blackmore. Like I said, came into this game with 5 RBIs. Now he has 6, 8 hits. Now he has 9.
And you were just saying how it's unusual for him to ground out into a double play. Completely erases that in the very next inning and gives the Stallions a 3-run lead. It'll be Ben Williams, the left fielder, up now. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Off-speed misses upstairs. Ford sits at third. Blackmore is over at first here with 2 outs. Stallions looking to tack on more. They've had a 4-run fifth, taking the lead. One-oh's in there for a strike.
Not a pitch there that Williams liked. More on the outside corner from the view that we had. But Williams thinking the same thing. Not the pitch he wanted to swing at.
He's been very disciplined this season. 7 walks on the year. Here's the 1-1. That one misses down low for ball 2.
Looks similar to the first strike there. Seen great consistency by the home plate umpires so far. Maybe just missed one there. Maybe he didn't.
Ford is over at third. Blackmore at first. Williams is at the plate here in a 2-1 count. That one's fouled back for strike 2. So now 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top half of the fifth. And the Outlaws just trying to get out of this inning where the Stallions have blown the game wide open.
Stallions coming into this inning with only 2 hits. Now they have 6. 4 hits in an inning is going to get you runs. It has to.
The 2-2 from Thorsland misses upstairs with the off-speed, and the count will go full.
Seeing his second batter of the day, it goes into his first full count of the game, but the 8th overall, 6 away from yesterday's 14.
The payoff from Thorsland. Fouled right back. And we'll do it again at 3-2.
A great 7-pitch at-bat by Williams. Just looking to get the ball in play just like Blackmore. Or even get a walk just like Ford.
Blackmore will be in motion here in the 3-2 count with 2 outs. Thorsland comes set. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the right side. Waiting's got it, but he boots it. Williams is going to beat it out over there at first. Ford will score, and the Stallions have taken a 4-run lead.
Calls him safe. Calls him safe at first there. I thought he tagged him out. I think he tagged him with the glove, had the ball in the other hand. I think that's what happened, and he tried to be slick about it, and the first base umpire saw it.
But Waiting himself still making that play extremely more difficult than he had to, booting the original ground ball, and then put himself in a high-pressure situation with Williams chugging down the line.
So an E3 there for Williams, right?
E3, that's the second E3 of this ball game. Jeremy fouls that one off to the left side. Stallions with a 5-run fifth, completely blowing this game open. They've taken a 4-run lead, and this is the Stallions offense that we're used to, AJ.
The Stallions offense that we are definitely used to, but also Oneonta's used to a few errors throughout the game as well. We have 4 so far, some of those turning into runs. Although we have 6 hits, we also have 6 runs. So errors really being a big part of the runs today.
0-1 to May is down low for ball 1.
And for today, Dan, a perfect opportunity for May. 2 runners in scoring position. Gets the ball in the outfield. He gets an RBI to his name.
And a low-stress situation. Not high pressure. A 4-run lead in this game. Don't need to overcomplicate things. Just trying to get himself back on track. Here's the 1-1. That one's grounded to the middle. Del Vecchio will have it, but a brutal play over there at second. Coming around to score will be Blackmore. And they're going to call they're going to call Williams out there at second base. I mean, what'd you see on that one?
That's similar to a Chase Utley Tejada play. It wasn't dirty. Williams didn't see him. He's running to the bag, charging into the ball. It's not a contact sport in reality, but sometimes it is. And it was just an unfortunate thing there, not intentional by Williams whatsoever.
So that out not going on May. And AJ, you look at that play a little bit here before we go to the break. You have to slide into second on that play, so Williams not doing anything wrong with the ball hit straight to Del Vecchio, but an unfortunate collision.
I think the situation would have been better with exactly what happened. If you slide, you go into your opponent's legs, broken bones. It's not worth it.
Still, regardless, the Stallions take a 4-run lead here. They put up 5 runs in the top half of the 5th. A new arm will be on as we head to break. Stallions leading by 4. Dan Shalom here with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto. AJ, the Stallions taking a 5-run 5th there to take a 6-2 lead. Nick Pettit leaves the game with 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Now leads the entire PGCBL in strikeouts with 22. But there's a new arm on the mound, and that's Michael Cunningham.
Michael Cunningham, the Wagner product. His 3rd appearance so far for the Stallions. A loss, but getting the jitters out in that game. Still supporting himself with a 0.00 ERA in 3 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 hits. The last time the Stallions saw him, June 11th, and a 5-4 loss against Utica.
Yeah, he was the one that was responsible for that error that would end up losing the Stallions game. Of course, not exactly his fault on that one. Was a high-pressure play. So still hasn't given up a run on the season. First batter he faces will be the catcher Lucas Grantham. He's 1 for 1 tonight, had an RBI single in that bottom of the 2nd. That was the first Oneonta run of this ballgame. That one misses for ball 1.
Dan, we talked about the season pitching stats for the Oneonta Outlaws. A 6.83 ERA. Looking very similar to the score right now through 5.
The 1-0 is poked to the right side. Fielding it is Rodriguez. He throws to first for a quick out number 1.
As a pitcher, you get a sign of relief every time the ball is hit the 3rd, 2nd, short, and even first, because you know minimal errors in the infield so far for the Stallions this season.
So Cunningham retires the first batter he faces. It'll be the extra hitter Dylan Millman up to bat. He also has an RBI in this game. Grounded out over to Travello, which played the 2nd run of the game for Oneonta. Fouls this one back for strike 1.
Cunningham different in this game than the game against Utica. Had a few more lessons with Coach Rich Doobie, and I think it's the mentality of trusting a team now that he's been with for multiple weeks instead of trusting a team he's been with for 2 days. It's a different feeling.
The 0-1 gets Millman swinging for strike 2. Cunningham searching for his first strikeout of the outing here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th.
Dan, as a catcher, it's so important to know your pitcher because you know the spin, you know the tail, and you know how fast they throw.
That one is called late for strike 3. So Cunningham gets his first strikeout of the night, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Cunningham, 2 outs, quicker than he had 2 outs in Utica by a lot. Only facing 2 batters compared to the 6 batters he faced to get 2 outs in Utica. So a huge improvement. And only 6 days ago.
It'll be Jaden Ross to the dish now, the right fielder. Ross in this game, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the bottom of the second. Rocks that one to deep left center field. Going back on it is Williams, but Bach will make the play for out number 3. So Cunningham ties the Outlaws 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the 5th. We head to the 6th, Stallions leading by 4.
Saugerties.
Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, we're nearly 2/3 of the way through of this game, and the Stallions showing why they're a top offense in this league in that top half of the 5th, putting up 5.
5 runs when they needed it most. Stallions trailing is not a very familiar thing in the Saugerties clubhouse, and it will stay like that going to Damaski Field.
Stallions will face Martin Thorsland for the second inning of the game, And AJ, the Stallions nearly batted around there in that top half of the 5th. If Jarrett May reached base, Rich Rodriguez would have come to the plate, and he struck out to start that top of the 5th.
Yeah, but going back to the May 31st start that Thorson had, he gave up 9 hits. Very similar to what he did in just that 5th inning of play when 5 runs were given up at that top of the inning.
He'll have to face Rodriguez for the first time tonight. Rodriguez is 0 for 1 in this game with a strikeout and a walk.
Rodriguez looking for a hit, an above 300 hitter coming into this game. He knows how to poke the ball around. It's the name of the game, and he follows that.
First pitch from Thorson misses for ball 1. That one's in there for strike 1. AJ, we look around the league at some of the scores, and the Mohawks and Watertown, the Rapids tied at 2 currently at Shuttleworth Park. If Amsterdam were to lose that game, Stallions would hop up into lone first place. That one's foul. Right now they're tied with Amsterdam for first, both at 11-2.
Stallions would love to see the Mohawks lose because going into tomorrow, being first place in the division, it kind of puts you at the level above. You know, you feel like you feel like the king. But going in there tied, it makes it way more competitive.
That one's poked to the right side. It gets over the glove of Waiting. Rodriguez stands at first. He's got himself a leadoff single here in the top of the 6th.
Rodriguez rounding first there. I don't know if you saw, Dan lost his footing, almost tripped. He could have got a double there, but had to stop himself because he had to reset his positioning back at first.
It'll be Tyler Bach to the plate now. Bach in this game, 1 for 2, got his first hit of the campaign in that top of the 5th, starting the entire rally with a single.
All smiles in the Stallions dugout, seeing Bach get his first hit, exactly what he needed coming into this game.
First pitch from Thorson is outside for ball 1. And AJ, back to that Mohawks and Rapids conversation, it also helps if you're up a game with a home and home against Amsterdam, you have the ability to drop one and still be at the top of the standings.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Definitely for the coaches, too. The coaches knowing they have a strategy coming into a very competitive game.
Bach gets his second hit of the night to the left side. Stallions will have runners at first and second now with nobody out in the top of the 6th. And AJ, I don't know if you saw the way that Bach was gripping the bat, he really was choking up and not trying to do too much.
It's a big, big trick in baseball, choking up. It gives you less to mess up with. You have a shorter bat, a shorter swing, less of a step to take. Bach said, I got a single doing that last time. Let's do it again. Now he's 2 for 3 on the day and smiles on first by Tyler Bach.
Yeah, and Bach now 2 hits, his first 2 of the entire season here tonight at Damaski Field. Evan Dieter to the dish now. Pops that one up to the right side. It will go foul. Dieter in this game, he's 0 for 1, a strikeout in that top of the third, and then a walk in the top of the fifth. And Watertown has taken a lead over the Mohawks. It's 4-2 at Shuttleworth Park in the bottom of the sixth. What a victory that would be. Watertown sits at third worst in the league, playing the best team in the Amsterdam Mohawks.
Watertown just had an absolute devastating loss last night. Almost put the rally cabs on backwards in that bottom of the ninth, putting up 5 but needing 6 to tie. And Oneonta coming into this game with a 2-game win streak now.
They're also sitting at third. So if Watertown can help out the Stallions, they would sit at first if they're going to go on to win this game. A big if, but things looking good right now for Saugerties in the top half of the sixth. Here's the 1-1. Dieter rocks that one to left center field. Chasing it over there is Dale. He makes the catch. What a diving catch out there in center field by Jacoby Dale. Steals an extra base hit from Evan Dieter.
Dale just saved 2 RBIs from coming in and a possible triple. For Evan Dieter with the speed, this could have been an absolute massacre of a game at that point. But Dale with 100% pride and heart in center field, laying out his body for just 1 out.
A beautiful diving couch out there by Jacoby Dale. It'll be the top of the order, Mario Trivella. And Trivella in this game so far, he's 1 for 2 along with a walk in the top of the third. And a sac fly here would get him his second RBI of the night. Trivella as well, the first run of this game for the Stallions.
Trivella looking to get on base again. He scored twice, both on a pass ball by Grantham at the catcher spot. Not much his fault. One time no one was covering, the next time a wild pitch. So Trivella looking to get on base again.
Takes that one for ball 1. Stallions have runners at first and third here with 1 out in the top half of the sixth. And A.J. Grantham's got to be really careful behind the plate. There's a very speedy runner over there at third, and that's Rich Rodriguez.
Rich Rodriguez will make you pay, even if you don't think so. You could throw him back slow. Rodriguez will pick up on it. He will steal home on you.
1-1, 1 out here in the top of the sixth. Stallions looking for some insurance runs. Going to second is Bach. Throw down, not in time, but a great play over there actually by Carrera to not allow that ball to get into the outfield.
Carrera just saved another run that would have made it 7-2. But now with Bach at second base, a very smart play by the Stallions, per usual. Getting speedy guys on second and third because a ball in the outfield, which we've seen multiple times today with 8 hits, scores 2.
And even a sac fly would allow both runners to tag. 2-1 count here to Trivella. Stallions leading by 4 in the top half of the sixth. Off speed's in there for strike 2.
Thorson has to be careful now. This is a very important out. You do not want bases loaded with Frint Genters up next, who already got a single on his last at-bat.
2-2 count here to Trivella. 1 out in the top half of the sixth. Here's the pitch. That one is in there for strike 3. A very delayed strike 3 call by the home plate umpire. And now with 2 outs, it'll be Fritz Genther, who had an RBI single in his last at-bat.
Doing a great job at the plate. Like we said, graduated UMass Lowell, looking to play indie ball, a highly confident player, 5 tools. Speed in the field, at the plate, and anything you need, he's going to deliver.
Looking to deliver here for his second and maybe third RBI of the night in the top half of the sixth. That one's fouled to the right side. Runner at third is Rodriguez. Bach is over at second. And Genther's at the plate. Had an RBI single in his last trip, looking to replicate that right here, right now. Here's the 0-1. Off-speed misses upstairs.
Great job by Thorson there on Trivella with 2 curveballs going for the second strike and eventually the punch-out. Has to find that here for Genther to really work again.
The 1-1 misses upstairs again, and it's now 2-1. AJ, Stallions trying to blow this game wide open and take a run where the Outlaws wouldn't even be able to tie it if they hit a grand slam. Take a lead, excuse me. Here's the 2-1. Misses upstairs once again, and it's now 3-1. You definitely do not want to walk Fritz Genther.
3 balls, 3 high fastballs. Thorson's got to get it figured out. This is not a part of the lineup you want to start messing around with.
Don't want Ryan Resio at bat with the bases loaded. 3-1 is rocked to left field. That one is going. It is caught on the track. Nearly gets out of the park, but is caught out there by Hopko for out number 3. Stallions strand 2 here in the top half of the 6th, but still lead it by 4 as we head to the bottom half. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth, getting ready for the bottom of the 6th. AJ, the Stallion squad, with a chance there to extend the lead, but just stranding a couple runners on base.
Genther teasing everyone in Damsky with a home run there. It was high, it was far, but just on the warning track. A little bit right, about 10 feet right of that 335 sign. So close, and it would have made a huge difference for the Stallions.
It'll be Michael Cunningham out there for his second inning of work. And you look at the staff tonight, maybe Pettit not exactly what he wanted, but a great start and keeps the Stallions more than in this game.
Pettit just minimizing the damage the best he could. They were hitting the ball. They saw the ball well in the second inning. They got 3 hits that second inning, 2 runs. They went down by 1. Didn't stop the Stallions' offense. They said, "We got you, Nick." And they got 6, 5 coming in that 5th.
First batter Cunningham will face here in the bottom of the 6th is the 10-hole hitter Nicholas Delvecchio. He fouls that one foul for strike 1. Delvecchio 0 for 1 today with a ground out over to short.
Delvecchio going to be a rising freshman at LIU, coming into this game with only 8 at-bats with a .250 average and 1 walk.
That one's hit to the left side. A nice play over there by Trivella. Throws to first, but it's not in time.
An absolute Jeter play there by Mario Trivella. Might as well start calling him Derek Cheater there at shortstop. The backhand and the jump and throw, but the speedy legs of Nicholas Delvecchio beat it out.
It'll be the top of the lineup here for the Outlaws. Matt Carrera, who's 1 for 2 in this game, had a leadoff single to start off the game. That being in the bottom of the 1st. That one's upstairs for ball 1. It's the first hit of the night that Cunningham has given up. Did a great job in that bottom half of the 5th, retiring the hitters 1, 2, 3. The 1-0 is hit to the right side. Charging at it is Dieter. He's not going to be able to get there.
Dan, I want to talk about the reactions of Dambski's Field that we heard behind us. If Travella made that play, they were every single person in awe that even got to that ball.
And May did a great job being a catcher over there at first, not letting the ball get by him. It was on a hop. Keeps Delvecchio over at first. He threatened the steal. That one's hit to deep left field. Going back on it is Williams, and it's going to be off the bottom of the wall. Chugging around third is Delvecchio. He will stop there, and it seemed like Delvecchio kind of stopped there in the middle of second and third. He could have gotten home on that.
There was no reason for him to stop. He might have thought a home run. Ben Williams kind of slowed down his tracks a little bit, thinking it was going to go over. Calculated it wrong. It was short. Delvecchio should be home with a man on second, but instead, no outs, man on second and third still.
So now the Outlaws threatening to cut the lead here in the bottom of the sixth. They've got runners at second and third. It'll be Tanner Hardin, the third baseman, up to bat. He's 0 for 1 tonight. That one gets by Blackmore. Coming home to score is Delvecchio. We've got ourselves a 6-3 ball game here in the bottom of the sixth.
Blackmore just doing such a great job on that. During the game, great job right there. A little of a mishap. I think him and Cunningham crossed right there. If you saw Blackmore said something to Cunningham, just maybe like, let's redo the pitches on that one. Maybe he saw a 2 and went down a 1. It happens sometimes.
Well, we talk about how great Blackmore has been, a .986 fielding percentage behind the dish. That one, the first one tonight that got by him. This is going to bring home a run. Travello throws over to first for out number 1, and we've got a 6-4 ball game.
6-4 ball game, 2 earned runs there from Michael Cunningham. But it's not the end of the world. They were up 4. They had insurance runs. They gave those insurance runs away. Now it's time to get them back next inning.
But there's a reason why the insurance runs are there. Stallions offense helping out the pitching staff here. It's 6-4 in the bottom of the sixth. Oneonta putting up 2 runs for the first time since the bottom of the second.
Cunningham just throwing strikes, a contact pitcher as well. Known for it at Wagner, a successful pitcher there as well. Looking to bring it here to Saugerties today.
Jacoby Dale at the dish. Dale in this game, he's 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the bottom of the first. Cunningham misses. It's 1-1.
Cunningham now no one on base, nothing to worry about. You got 1 out. Throw strikes, let the defense make the play. They're there for a reason.
1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Gets Dale swinging for strike 2.
Dale with an amazing diving play, jumping 5 feet in the air and going on all fours just to get that one. And saved at least 2 runs and a triple from a speedy Dieter.
That being in the top half of the sixth. Here's the 1-2. Keeps himself alive, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Dale coming into this game batting .368 on the season and had a home run last night against Watertown. 1-2 blows it by him for strike 3. The high cheese gets Dale, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth.
Just want to take a look at the Stallions' pitching stats for the season so far. 2.75 ERA, like you said, Dan, the best in the PGCBL between the East and the West, a combination of 16 teams. Now 87 hits allowed, 55 walks. That will be less through midseason. Coach Rich Doobie has now started to talk to them now, starting to get into their heads, giving them tips and tricks.
Cunningham deals a first pitch strike here against the left fielder Jack Hopko. Hopko in this game, he's 0 for 1. Batting .400 coming into this one, the highest average on the entire Outlaws squad. Cunningham gets ahead here, 0-2.
Going 0-2 on a .400 batter is exactly what Cunningham needs to do, and it has to have the same mentality going forward. This batter is no different than the best batter you faced.
0-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Stallions leading by 2. Here's the pitch from Cunningham. This is upstairs for ball one.
Cunningham's so effective with his fastball so far. Throwing it for strikes, which is exactly what you need when you're up. You know, you want to get outs. You want to get the game to go faster and end quicker so you can get the win.
Blows that one right by Hopko. Back-to-back strikeouts to end this inning here for Michael Cunningham. But the Outlaws put up 2. Stallion lead is cut to 2 as we head to the 7th.
Number 6.
Two-thirds of the way through here from Damaski Field. 18 outs to go. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, the Stallions looking to tack on a couple runs of insurance after their insurance runs were taken away in that bottom half of the 6th.
Putting up 2 in the 2nd, and now like we just saw 2 in the bottom of the 6th. The Stallions are still up 2. Lots of 2s there, but the Stallions looking to put up more runs this inning, especially that Amsterdam Mohawks are down right now to Watertown. So this is a huge thing for Amsterdam with Amsterdam down 4-2, Stallions up 6-4.
Yeah, the bottom of the 7th there at Shuttleworth Park. And the reason that score is so crucial is because the Stallions play a home-and-home against the Mohawks in the next 2 days. Ryan Resio digging in here in the top half of the 7th. Hits that one out to left center field. Dale shades over, and he's got it for out number 1.
That's just a good hit. Dale has been everywhere and anywhere today in the outfield. He's been in left center. He's been in center. He's been in right center, and he's been diving on the floor when he needs to. A great center fielder.
Yeah, 4th ball hit out to him. He's fielded every ball that's been hit to center field. It'll bring Justin Ford, the extra hitter, up. Ford reached on a walk in the top of the 5th. That one's in there for strike 1.
Thorson starting the 7th inning with strikes. The Outlaws must have said, we got your back. Throw some strikes, enough with the walks. It's been causing a lot of problems this game.
The 0-1's in the dirt for ball 1. And AJ, when you talk about, getting more comfortable, having your team behind you and getting some run support makes you feel even more confident on the mound.
As a pitcher, being up 3-0 compared to tied 0-0, it's less pressure and less responsibility on you as the pitcher.
That one's fouled back. And those 2 runs put up by the Outlaws in the bottom of the 6th, giving Thorsland some confidence here to just keep them in the game. Don't overcomplicate it, just keep us in striking distance.
In reference, a team with the best infield and outfield is a team with the best pitchers.
Here's the 1-2. Poke to the right side. Waiting grabs it and steps on first base for out number 2.
We've seen Waiting have some trouble at first today. That E3 on Ben Williams and then that E3 on Justin Ford. Now an out on Justin Ford and just trying to pick up on what he lost so far today.
It'll bring Josh Blackmore to the lineup. Or to the dish, not to the lineup. First pitch to him is down low for ball 1. And AJ, the Stallions offense is thriving here tonight without their 2 key guys, Byram Hott and Ethan Conrad.
Like you said, Ethan Conrad and Byram Hott, their 2nd day off collectively as a 2024 Stallion. But in reality, I think it's part of a bigger master plan. Like we saw come out on the field before, Andrew Amata, the 2023 PGCBL MVP. I think something's brewing in the Stallions
Maybe
clubhouse.
saving them all up for the 2-game set against Amsterdam in these next 2 days. We'll see what head coach Colin Martin does. But also getting some other guys some playing time here at Damaski Field, and deservedly so. That one's in there for strike 1.
Every player in the Stallions so far deserving a spot on the field and in the lineup. Constant work at the facility, constant work at the game, and even after the game.
That one's hit over to Del Vecchio. He throws to first for out number 3. So the Stallions go down 1-2-3 here in the 7th. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Stallions leading by 2. Dan Chow with you alongside A.J. DiBenedetto here at Damaski Field, getting ready for the bottom of the 7th, and there's a new pitcher on the mound here for the Stallions. It's number 20, Jace Van Valkenburg. He'll try and get the final 9 outs of this ball game. So far this season for Van Valkenburg, he's appeared in 4 games for the Stallions, sporting a 4.50 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 9 hits. His most recent outing being against Albany on Friday. He pitched 3 in that one, only giving up 1 run, and that also being unearned. Michael Cunningham leaves the game with 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 3 punch-outs. First batter that Van Valkenburg will face will be the first baseman Connor Wading. That one's upstairs for ball 1.
Van Valkenburg, I don't know if we covered it, but didn't really have the greatest start against Amsterdam. Had some troubles, but in his Amsterdam start, he pitched an inning, giving up 3 earned runs, 3 hits, giving up a walk, but striking out 2. But in just 1 inning, facing 8 batters.
Turned it around, though, against Albany, as we mentioned before. That one's hit over to Trivella. He fields it, throws across the diamond for out number 1.
Van Valkenburg obviously figured out the problem, what was wrong, of course by the help of famous coach Rich Doobie. Exactly the pitching coach you want in the scenario where you find trouble, and it completely turns it around the next game, which is going to happen with Van Valkenburg.
We saw the same thing with Elias Conway as well, dealing 6 straight strikeouts against the Glens Falls Dragons on Sunday night after a rough outing against Amsterdam. So with 1 out in the inning, it'll be the DH Brendan Connolly up to bat. First pitch misses, and Connolly in this game is 1 for 2 with a single, that being in the bottom of the 2nd.
Going into Van Valkenburg's past stats, except for that Albany game and Amsterdam, he's not a walking pitcher. He throws strikes. He finds that zone perfectly.
Speaking of, there's strike 1. That one misses outside. The count's now 2-1.
And Dan, going back to the Van Valkenburg name, it's a family full of pitchers. A younger brother going into 10th grade, if I'm correct, committed to UMiami, and a great pitcher out of Jace Van Valkenburg. Complete pitchers with a complete arsenal that tricks pitchers at the plate.
3-1 count here for Van Valkenburg in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. That one misses upstairs, so Van Valkenburg throws his first walk of the game here with one out in the bottom of the 7th.
The announcer jinx on that one, maybe. We just talked about how efficient he was with limited walks. Just couldn't find the zone perfectly there.
So now the tying run is at the plate for the Stallions. It's the catcher, Lucas Grantham. Has an RBI single tonight. That was the first run of the game for Oneonta, coming in the bottom of the 2nd. First pitch from Van Valkenburg is a strike.
Grantham, not a huge fan of Mario Trivella, I bet, today. Scoring twice on him on just 2 errors throughout the game. 2 of them, which means they're down 2 right now. Could be a tie game.
Yeah, if you erase those 2 errors, going to second is Connolly. It's fouled off. But if you erase those 2 errors, like you mentioned, AJ, this game would be tied 4-4. So Trivella taking full advantage of those.
Trivella definitely taking full advantage of those, and he's thanking himself right now for just not hesitating and doing it.
So an 0-2 count here in the bottom of the 7th. We saw Connolly dash over to second on that last pitch. Outlaws were trying to get the hit and run going. Grantham calls time, now steps back in the box. Check over on first. It's the right thing to do so far this season. Connolly 4 stolen bases.
Connolly looking like he's taking an extra step there. May's got to be vocal here to Van Valkenburg saying, step off, dude. It's not worth it.
The 0-2 misses down low. A nice pick back there by Josh Blackmore to not let anything get by him.
Josh Blackmore just having that one incident where that ball got by him. Not going to happen again. Josh Blackmore learning from his mistakes and taking complete control behind the dish.
He's been defensively sound tonight. Another check over there at first. Counts 1-2. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Stallions leading by 2. Tying run is at the plate here for the Outlaws. Here's the pitch. That one's poked out into right field. It will drop for a base hit. Dieter fields it on a hop. He got caught up with it. Moving over to third is waiting. And now the Outlaws are threatening with first and third and 1 out.
Taking a weird bounce there for Dieter, causing Connolly to go to third, putting Van Valkenburg in a tough position. But a double play, Dan. This inning's over, and we go to the top of the 8th. So,
yeah, today the Outlaws only having 1 double play, that being recorded by Jacoby Dale. That was a 6-4-3 in the first inning that got the Stallions out of it. And they'll look to do it again here against Dylan Millman. Millman does have an RBI in this game, plated the second run for Oneonta in the bottom of the 2nd. Blackmore again doing a nice job blocking that ball.
anything really, an error or a pass ball, it's a one-run game. And then the Stallions don't have that insurance anymore where they really got to settle in and score again.
Winning run is at, or go-ahead run, is at the plate. Tying run is at first. After retiring the first batter of this inning, Van Valkenburg has given up a walk and a single to back-to-back batters. The 1-0 is popped up into right center field. Dieter's got it. Tagging to home is Connolly. The throw is in time. It scares off Connolly. He goes back to third.
Dieter with a little bit of a mishap, allowing Connolly to get to third in that first place. He wasn't allowing that to happen again. Now there's 2 outs. No chance for a sac fly anymore. A little bit of stress off of Van Valkenburg.
That ball was shallow as well, so the reason why Connolly not tagging up, but still there's runners at first and third. It'll bring up the right fielder, Jaden Ross, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Runner going to second there is Grantham, and coming home on the play is Connolly, and the Outlaws get one back. It's 6-5.
A confusing play there. Yes, you had him at second, but was it really worth the trouble of giving up a run with already a strike on the board? That's the question that Blackmore is going to ask himself on this next pitch.
And sometimes you see the play where the shortstop comes into like the pitcher's mound and Blackmore would throw to him, waiting for the catch at home. But that time, just couldn't get it. That one's fouled off, but Van Valkenburg with a chance to get out of the inning here at an 0-2 count.
Van Valkenburg probably thinking to himself, I shouldn't have let anyone on base to begin with, but really, all of these runners in scoring position should just be a runner on first and second. Should have never had the chance for one on first and third.
The 0-2 from Van Valkenburg misses down low for ball one. Runner at second is Grantham. He allowed Connolly to score by stealing second for the 5th run for Oneonta of this ball game. Stallions clinging on to a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 1-2. That one misses upstairs. It will hit Jaden Ross, and now there'll be runners at first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
A hard break for Van Valkenburg there. A 1-2 count. The last thing we need is a hit by pitch. It's just not the count. And Blackmore possibly thinking, hey, let me talk to you for a sec. Let's reset.
So now the go-ahead run stands at first in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Nicholas Del Vecchio, the second baseman, up to bat. He had a single in his last trip. That was last inning in the bottom of the 6th. Del Vecchio, one of 2 runs that would come around to score in that bottom of the 6th. First pitch from Van Valkenburg misses down low for ball one.
Such an important out for Van Valkenburg here. You're facing the last batter in the Outlaws lineup, just looking to just get the out.
Here's the 1-0. That one's in there for strike one. And we've seen every time Van Valkenburg comes in, he puts himself into some hot water before figuring it out. But he's a guy who pitches to contact, and when you pitch to contact, runners are going to be on base.
We see it with Neglia as well, but Neglia more on the strikeout side than Van Valkenburg.
Speaking of the contact, this one's hit to Travella. He will step on second for the 3rd out of the inning. So Van Valkenburg limits the damage, but the Stallions only lead by 1 as we head to the 8th inning. Dan Shalom here with AJ DiBenedetto. AJ, we are down to crunch time. 12 outs left in this game, and the Stallions stranding 2 Outlaw runners on base there in that bottom half of the 7th, but Oneonta still pulling very close. It's now 6-5.
A crucial out there for Van Valkenburg that could have got messy quick. Only up 6-5 now. Stallions going 0-0 in the 6th and 7th inning, while the Outlaws are 2-1. Making it a 1-run game, 6-5.
So in a 6-5 ball game, we are going to see a pinch hitter here for the Stallions. Mike Cuello is going to come in for Ben Williams.
Mike Cuello these past few games has been hot. We saw 3 for 4, getting him player of the game with 3 RBIs against Glen Falls on Saturday, and just taking it over in the next games as well, just finding himself on base.
A super close game here from Damaski Field. Top of the 8th inning. Mike Cuello comes in for the left fielder Ben Williams. Swings through the first pitch for strike one.
Mike Cuello, perfect opportunity to get a single and be a huge impact player in a crunch time win.
Mike Cuello batting 172 this season. Turned it around, though, against Glens Falls in the first game of that home and home, as he went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs.
Exactly the potential Cuello has, but hasn't shown it fully yet.
The 0-2's down low. And AJ, now you talk about this game being closer than fans expected coming into this one. Head coach Colin Martin still has Ethan Conrad and Byram Hutt sitting on the bench.
Ethan Conrad and Byram Hutt walked by before they looked completely ready for an at-bat, so Colin Martin not afraid to use it if needed.
The count will be 2-2 here in the top half of the 8th. Stallions leading by 1, that lead being cut down from 6-2 to 6-5 by way of 3 Oneonta runs in the past 2 innings. Here's the pitch. That one is a strikeout. The home plate umpire tonight has an extremely delayed strikeout call, so Cuello himself was looking at the umpire, waiting for the call. He goes down looking.
Cuello not a fan of that call, more flabbergasted by it being called a strike, especially 5 seconds after the pitch is thrown.
So now with 1 out in the inning, it'll bring up the first baseman, Jarrett May. May last inning was out on a fielder's choice. That ended the inning. That was the play with Williams over at second, where May would have been safe at first, but just a collision in which Williams was called out. That one's fouled off. It's 1-1. And AJ, we got to talk about Martin Thorsland. He's done a great job settling into this game. After giving up 1 run in that top half of the 5th, he's put up back-to-back zeros.
We saw it, especially against us that first game, May 31st. A lot of our runs did not come in the beginning of the game. That's because Martin Thorsland was the starting pitcher in the first game of their season. So doing the same thing today.
Consistency is key. He's ahead of May here. It's a 1-2 count with 1 out.
May looking to add to the hard-hit balls, but this one being a little different, landing in open green grass.
Off-speed misses upstairs. It's 2-2.
Same 2-2 count as Mike Cuello just had, except Stallions hoping this one a little bit different.
Here's the 2-2. That one misses upstairs, and the count goes full.
9th full count of the day for the Stallions and Outlaws combined. Still nothing close to the Glen Falls game where there was 14.
And May looking for his first hit in 2 games. Swings through that one for strike 3. The struggles continue for Jarrett May, and there's 2 outs in this top half of the 8th. It'll bring up Rich Rodriguez, the second baseman. Rodriguez singled in his last trip to the plate, that one being in the top half of the 6th.
Rodriguez put ones to the oppo side last time, getting on base and eventually scoring.
Takes ball 1 here. Swings through that one for strike 1. And AJ, the momentum right now very much being on the side of Oneonta as we head into these last 2 innings.
The momentum definitely felt by the fans as well. Fans are here. Fans are staying, and it's getting a little chilly. The fans want to see an Outlaw win tonight.
That one's bounced in front of the plate. Count is 2-1 with 2 outs. Here to the second baseman, Rich Rodriguez. Stallions looking for some insurance runs after they led this game 6-2. It's now 6-5. Here's the 2-1. That one's popped out to right field. Under it is Ross, and he's got it for out number 3. The Stallions go down 1-2-3 in the top half of the 8th. They keep a 1-run lead as we head to the bottom half. Dan Chalm with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto. Here in the bottom of the 8th, and AJ, there's a new pitcher on the mound here for the Stallions. Van Valkenburg will leave after just a single inning pitched, and it's a new arm on the mound for Saugerties. I will look to get the final 6 outs of this ball game. AJ, why don't you tell us more about Derek Constance?
Derek Constance, one of the new pitchers for the Stallions out of Stony Brook, gonna be a rising freshman. In his two game appearances so far, a 9 ERA, 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks, and giving up 5 hits. His last appearance 2 days ago against Glen Falls on Saturday, in a win 12-2. He only pitched an inning then.
Only pitched an inning, but that inning was clean. Had it 1-2-3, gave up no runs, no hits, and had a strikeout. So looking to replicate that here at Damaski Field, the Outlaws are down to their final 6 outs of this ball game, down by a singular run.
Constance left his track on a good note in his last appearance on June 15th, like we said, 1-2-3. Now looking to do the same thing today in crunch time, bottom of the 8th.
And you speak of crunch time here at Damaski Field. Crunch time over at Shuttleworth Park. Watertown and Amsterdam tied 5-5 in the bottom of the 8th. AJ, you got to think about this too. If that game goes to a tie, the Stallions would still be on top of Amsterdam as they would have 12 wins. Currently the Mohawks have 11. So the Stallions desperately needing some help with over there from Watertown before facing the Mohawks in back-to-back days.
And the best part about it is if they go into a game 1 game up, they lose a game, they're tied still. It's not like they go down automatically. And they have 1 to lose, but 1 they would rather not.
They'll look to close it out here. Final 6 outs from Damaski Field. It'll be Matt Carrera, the top of the lineup for the Outlaws. First pitch from Constance is a strike. Here's the 0-1. That one misses down low. And AJ, we've seen this with pitching coach Rich Doobie now where, guys maybe struggle in their first outing but bounce back like Constance did and are very clean in the next time they're on the mound.
It's been a consistent fix for Rich Doobie. He has no trouble. He sees it. He's been around it for so long. He could tell you what you're doing in just 5 pitches.
Here's the 2-1. Swings through it for strike 2.
Constance, a rising freshman going to Stony Brook in the CAA. Now, his days, a local guy at Kingston. A fun fact, he threw a no-hitter in high school. 7 innings, 13 Ks. So a guy that's known for strikeouts.
Him and Genther, both out of Kingston. Local guys, along with a few others on this team that come from the 845 area code. Here's the 2-2 from Constance. Misses outside, and the count goes full.
Double digits now for full counts on the day. Constance with his first, only in the first batter.
Here's the payoff. Strike 3, he got him. First batter that Constance faces is a strikeout, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
5 outs remaining left for the Outlaws. Constance just trying to give them no chance and let them get out of here with no sweat.
Tanner Harden, the third baseman, digs in. He most recently had an RBI in that bottom of the 6th. A ground out over to short. Was able to bring a run home. That cut the lead to 6-3 at the time. That one misses down low for ball 1.
Constance also coming into this game with a velocity of 90-92 as a rising freshman. Hot fastballs.
That one misses inside for ball 2. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Stallions trying to close out this game and get their 4th straight win. It would improve them on the season to 12-2-1 ahead of tomorrow's home with the Amsterdam Mohawks.
An interesting score for the Stallions here. With an even greater matchup tomorrow, it's really going to come down to the walks and less mental error on the field, causing extra bases and runs that aren't necessary.
Here's the 2-1. That one's fouled off to the left side. The count's 2-2. And AJ, you mentioned those walks in that 10-0 loss to Amsterdam last Sunday. The Stallions walked 12 batters, and there were also 3 RBI walks by the Mohawks as a team. So if they want to win tomorrow, it's something they're going to have to cut down on, and they've done so since that game. Here's the 2-2. That one's hit into center field. It'll get down for a base hit. A 1-out base hit here for Tanner Hardin, and it'll bring up Jacoby Dale, the center fielder.
Coming to the plate for your Outlaws, the center fielder from Wayne State, number 7, Jacoby Dale.
Dale, in his most recent at-bat, struck out in the bottom of the 6th. Batting .368 coming into this one, though. He is the go-ahead run. Tying run is at first in the form of Tanner Hardin. That one's hit into left center field. It will get down for a base hit. And now there's runners at first and second off back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the 8th.
A little bit of a scary moment now for the Stallions. They haven't seen it much this season. They're not used to it. They're not used to only being up by 1 and the pitchers having to clutch up in scenarios like now. But it's now or never for them, or else they will lose this game. They both have 8 hits now.
It'll bring up Jack Hopko, the left fielder. Hopko, in his last trip to the dish, struck out, that being in the bottom of the 6th, but has the highest average on the team coming in, that's standing at 400. First pitch from Constance misses. There's 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 8th, there's runners at first and second. Hopko, 7 RBIs this season. Went 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs against Watertown last night. Came in as a pinch hitter. Constance having trouble right now locating the zone.
Constance has to know it's really, you can't mess up now. You have 2 runners on, 1 out, 1 in the outfield. This game's a tie ball game.
That one's fouled back, so the count will be 2-1 now. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Stallions clinging on to a 1-run lead, trying to close out this game.
It's really time for the Stallions to lock in, get these last 2 outs, come into next inning, and say to themselves, we need a run here. Why not go into the bottom of the 9th with 2 instead of 1?
Here's the 2-1. That one's in there for strike 2. A big strike here for Derek Constance. He's now 1 strike away from getting the 2nd out of this inning with runners at first and second here in the bottom of the 8th. The 2-2. That one misses. It gets by Blackmore. Both runners are going to move up 90 feet. The last thing the Stallions needed right there.
The 11th full count now with runners on second and third. You walk this guy, you have bases loaded with only 1 out. A sac fly ties this game. A strikeout really takes off the sweat of a lot of players in the Stallions dugout and in the field.
And it seemed like once again that Blackmore and Constance got crossed right there, with Blackmore not really expecting that high fastball. So now a full count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. The payoff pitch swung through. It'll be foul. Blackmore couldn't hold on to it. The count will stay at 3-2.
A great foul ball by Hopko. Really the difference between the 2nd out or still being in this at-bat. And now Constance has to get another strike.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one misses on the inside, and the Outlaws now have the bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th. And pitching coach Rich Juby is going to come out to try and calm down Constance.
The perfect time for Coach Rich Doobie to come out and talk to him. He sees what's wrong. He probably knows the exact words on what's going on in Constance's head right now, saying, you got to calm down. It's now or never, dude.
And this guy knows high-pressure situations more than anybody. Rich Doobie being the 2008 Phillies World Series winning pitching coach. Then spent his time in the MLB with a few other teams before eventually just now coaching the Summers with the Stallions. This guy with plenty of veteran experience, giving it back now to the youth and trying to help Constance get out of this bases-loaded jam. AJ, me personally, I don't hate the walk right there with one out. It's better than a ball in play.
Definitely better than a ball in play. Now sets you up for any base double play. They just got to be aware of the situation and know what's really going to happen.
Bases are loaded. Connor waiting at the dish had a home run last night and nearly went yard earlier in this game. He would end up striking out in that bottom of the fourth, but AJ, that ball was way gone down there on that 335 line. A dangerous hitter.
So close, but so far at the same time. Close to being a home run, but tailed off left after so much power and just being a little early on it.
Swings through that one for strike two, was swinging for the fences right there, and Constance has got himself ahead.
After getting a home run, the best thing you could do in your next at-bat is to get a single up the middle because you forget about the home run and go right back to the original mechanics that you came with going into the game.
Here's Constance 0-2. They will say strike three, he got him. A huge strikeout for Derek Constance, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
Constance took Coach Doobie's words legitimately, word for word, and used it in that next batter.
So now with 2 outs in the inning, it'll bring up the DH. Brendan Connolly walked in his last at-bat in the bottom of the 7th, trying to bring home the game, tying and go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch is a ball, a nice block back there by Blackmore.
Blackmore, crucial times now. He knows he lets one by. This game is a tied ball game, exactly what the Stallions do not want.
A 1-0 count here to Connolly. He has 4 RBIs on the season, trying to drive home the game-tying run. Here's the pitch. That one's hit to center field, hit to second, and Rodriguez is able to get over there. Looked like it was way higher off the bat, but Constance, AJ, gets out of the bases-loaded jam.
It looked further than it really was, but right to Rodriguez, the 3rd out, and the Stallions take a deep breath.
So the Stallions have a 1-run lead as we head to the 9th inning. We'll be right back. You're watching Stallions Baseball here on the Saugerties YouTube channel. Dan Shalom with you alongside A.J. DiBenedetto in the 9th inning, a 6-5 Stallion lead at Damaski Field. And A.J., the Stallions needing an insurance run, but still a big sigh of relief after getting out of the bases-loaded jam.
Yeah, a huge sign of relief. Great hitters coming up right now for the Stallions. You have 6 outs left in this game and 6 of the most important outs in this game.
It's the third one-run ball game that the Stallions have been in heading to the 9th this season. We'll see if Tyler Bach can get it going here for the Stallions in the top half of the 9th. He has back-to-back singles, AJ, after not having a hit coming into this game.
This is the game of Tyler Bach obviously struggling, and then when you're struggling in baseball, it really gets you off your game. 2 hits is what he needed on the golden platter.
That one misses for ball 1. And AJ, it's still Martin Thorslin out there in this game has pitched now 4 1/3 innings coming into this ninth.
You look into it, he only gave up 1 run in that 5th. Then the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, he's given up none. The Outlaws are thinking, why take him out?
In a groove right now. That one's fouled off to the left side. The count will be 1-2. And AJ, we talk about close games. Both those games the Stallions have played in Utica, ending in 5-4 win and a 5-4 loss. The other 1-run game being the walk-off against the Mohawks at home, walking it off in the bottom of the ninth after being down 4-3.
Boxing that curveball way better than he did those first 2 games he started with the Stallions. He kind of looked off guard, probably haven't seen it a few days. Like we said, played with Wofford, got deep in the College World Series, right? Came straight to Saugerties. So he's in midseason form.
Here's the pitch. That one's ripped out to right center field. It's going to get down. 3 straight singles for Tyler Bach, and the Stallions have a runner here in the top of the ninth.
A 3-for-4 day for Bach is exactly what Colin Martin wanted on the bus ride up to Oneonta. He saw a struggling player that has immense potential, and he was like, he's just not going to what he needs to be. Once he does, the Stallions team is going to be uproared.
And now with Bach over there at first, he's a major speed threat, a guy that can get around the bases and could be the crucial insurance run that the Stallions need here in the top half of the ninth.
If I'm Graham, I'm thinking to myself, he's going to second. I got to think, be ready, execute it. Execute it.
Evan Dieter, the right fielder at the plate, lined out to center field in his last at-bat. 2 nice picks there by Grantham. Strands back over at first.
Big moment here for Dieter as he got a single in his last at-bat. Oh, I'm sorry. Got walked in the 5th inning, just looking to get on base again, because when he's on base, it's a speed threat from first base all the way to home.
2-0 count as well. He's in a favorable hitter's count. To start off here in the top half of the ninth, Bach gets his lead off of first. Here's the pitch. That one's hit into right field. Going back a couple steps is Ross. He's got it for out number 1.
5 outs now in this highly contested game. Great contact by Dieter, taking it the other way, but couldn't find the green grass.
It'll be Mario Trivella up to bat now. Top of the order for the Stallions. Trivella tonight, he's 1 for 3, but also walked in that top of the third, then would steal 2 bases and come around to score to be the first Stallion run of the game. That one misses upstairs for ball 1.
Trivella looking to extend his hot streak like we talked about multiple times today last night. 3 for 4, single, double, triple, missing just a home run, but he hit that here at the Masquet Field on May 31st.
That one's fouled off to the left side. Counts 1-1. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Stallions holding on to a 1-run lead. Looking for their 4th straight win of the season. That one's hit to the right side, right back at Ross, and it's back-to-back lineouts to right field. There's 2 outs in the top of the ninth.
History repeating itself. Great hits by Dieter, great hit by Trivella. Just not landing where they wanted it to.
Next up for the Stallions, the third baseman, number 35, Fritz Genther.
It'll be Fritz Genther, now the third baseman, up to bat. Tonight he's 2 for 4, 2 singles, one of them being an RBI single, but has also flown out over to right field twice in this game. That one's in there for strike 1.
Genther with one of the most experienced guys on the Stallions team. Really a player that most Stallions look up to.
That one's popped up on the infield. Waiting is under it, and he grabs it for out number 3. So the Stallions are held to nothing here in the top of the 9th, and they'll search for the last 3 outs of this ball game in the bottom half when we come back. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. And AJ, there's a new pitcher on here for the Stallions searching for the final 3 outs of this game.
Jackson Cohen, in his 4th appearance so far for the Stallions, 1-0. His ERA does not match his stats. Puts up a 15 ERA in 3 innings of pitching, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 5 hits. His last appearance was against Albany in that 12-12 tie.
So just as an update here, the Mohawks winning their game against Watertown, that being a 6-5 final. The Mohawks walking off the Rapids on a walk-off walk. So they win it 6-5 up there at Shuttleworth Park. The Stallions will visit Shuttleworth Park on Thursday night for the first time in the season. These next 2 games are going to be really, really good.
That's a heartbreaking thing for the Stallions to hear. They thought they might have had a potential to go up a game in the East Division of the PGCBL.
Well, guess what, AJ? They'll have a chance to go up 2 games if they can beat the Mohawks twice in back-to-back games.
Definitely something the Stallions fans are looking forward to, a rival matchup when it matters most.
But they got to focus their attention right here, right now. 3 outs left in this game, a 1-run ball game. It'll be the catcher Lucas Grantham digging in at the dish. And his last at-bat in the bottom of the 7th, a single with the stolen base. That one's in there for a strike.
And Dan, taking a look at Cohen's ERA, deceiving. 1-0, but a 15 ERA. Explain it to me.
Well, AJ, I'll tell you what, he's only pitched 3 innings, so the small sample size inflates the ERA. Did give up 5 earned against Albany, but before that, didn't give up a single earned run, so a guy looking to get back on track here. They're going to say that Grantham did not go around. The count is 2-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. Stallions needing 3 outs to walk away with a win and earn their 3rd straight win of the season against the Outlaws. It'd be the first time they beat the Outlaws in 3 straight games since a stretch of June 21st to July 1st.
Grantham taking a break right there. Looked on the swing. Might have tweaked the shoulder. Happens as a righty sometimes when you're facing a righty. Just got to be a little bit careful there.
Here's the 2-1. That one in there for strike 2.
Cohen just throwing strikes, 3 outs left. Let the defense make the plays right now. Don't lose because of walks and errors.
Here's the 2-2. Strike 3, he got him. A huge out number 1 for Jackson Cohen, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
Next up for the Outlaws.
Great job by Cohen there. First batter, saw himself in a troublesome count. Got right back into it, got your first out, and only needs 2 more with no runners on now.
We'll face Dylan Millman, the extra hitter. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Millman in this game, he's 0 for 3, but does have an RBI ground out to short. That plated the second run of the game for the Outlaws. Here's the 1-0. That one misses, and it's 2-0.
Millman, familiar faces between him and some of the Stallions. Went to Marist, goes to Marist right now. Rising junior, so same grade as Ethan Conrad, Byram Hott, on the same team as them as well. So familiar faces out here on Damaski Field.
The 2-0's in there for strike one. Stallions looking to escape Oneonta with a win here tonight. Here's the 2-1. That one misses down low. It's 3-1.
Cone looking so comfortable with that off speed right now. It looks like he could throw it at any count he wants. 3-0 even.
Cohen comes set. Here's the 3-1. That one's down low, and it's a 5-pitch walk here in the bottom of the ninth. The tying run at first, and now the winning run at the plate.
The ninth, the right fielder from the University of South Florida, number 12, Jaden.
AJ, there's been 2 save situations this season for the Stallions, and both of them have come in high-pressure situations with runners at first and second or second and third. So this is nothing new to this squad.
Huge save opportunity now for Jackson Cohen, up 1. Get a job done.
That one misses off the outside for ball 1. Ross this season batting .200 coming into this game. And this one, he's 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch in his last trip, that being in the bottom of the 7th. Cohen having some trouble right now locating.
3 straight balls for Cohen now. If he throws another one, Blackmore, call a timeout, calm him down. It's a tight situation. It's stressful.
Here's the 2-0. That one misses up high, and now the count is 3-0.
Jaden Ross, in his mind, expecting fastball, took a look over at the third base coach, gave him the take sign. So strike or ball, there will be no swing off of what we just saw.
Here's the 3-0. That one misses down low, so it's a 4-pitch walk to Jaden Ross, and now there's runners at first and second. Rich Doobie's going to come out and talk to him. He did the same thing with Derek Constance, and then Constance would go out to retire the next 2 batters.
Very important for Cohen to just listen to Doobie here and understand each word he's saying, because it's just going to make him better and eventually hopefully get him to save.
So, AJ, let's take a look back at Sunday night. Stallions at the Dragons. It was a 4-2 ball game in the bottom of the 9th. The Dragons would get their first runner on. That was James Ward with a walk. Then it'd be a fielder's choice with Odelio Cespedes. Stephen Catch would single. There would be runners at first and second with only 1 out in the inning. And then Liam Powell would go on to retire the next 2 batters. Same exact scenario here at Damaski Field.
Got to follow the steps of Liam Powell, who does have a save on the year.
He has 2.
2, Jackson Cohen looking to get his first of the year.
A high-pressure situation. The Outlaws not making it easy here on the Stallions. Runners at first and second, 1 out in the inning. First pitch there from Cohen is a strike.
Exactly what he needed. A talk with Coach Rich Doobie results in a strike.
It's Nicholas Delvecchio at the plate. Delvecchio grounding to short in his last plate appearance. And he's down early 0-2.
2 strikes on 2 pitches. The exact scenario you need if you're Jackson Cohen.
Runners at first and second. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Here's the 0-2. Misses upstairs. Counts 1-2.
He's in a good spot now. He just cannot lose his position. He's ahead now. No reason to go behind.
Delvecchio, the LIU product, looking to push his team to victory. Here's the 1-2. Stays alive. We'll keep it at 1-2.
Delvecchio just staying in the at-bat. Although he is batting last in the lineup today, he's an effective lefty at the plate. LIU thought so as well.
Yeah, he's a Westbury, New York native. That only being about 10 minutes from the campus of LIU, so a very local guy. Runner at second is Millman. Runner at first is Ross. Delvecchio at the plate in a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. That one just misses on the outside, and the count's 2-2.
Looked very good from our side. Josh Blackmore thought the same, just trying to frame that outer half. But framing an outer half pitch is one of the hardest things to do behind the plate.
Here's the 2-2. Misses upstairs, and now from an 0-2 count, the count has gone full.
He troubled himself now from the 1-2. It was his count and his count only. Now Delvecchio has a chance to get on base with just a walk.
3-2 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Misses down low. The bases are loaded for the Outlaws with 1 out in a 1-run ball game.
Not exactly what you want if you're the Stallions, but it's part of the game. Bottom of the 9th. You got to trust your defense for contact and let them make a play.
Walks have been an issue, AJ. 3 straight walks dealt out by Jackson Cohen after getting the first batter of the inning. It'll be the top of the order as well. Matt Carrera at the dish. Struck out in the bottom of the 8th. That one's in there for strike 1.
Top of the order. The fans are active. The players are active. It's a chippy game here. And the Stallions are looking to come up on top.
Here's the 0-1. That one's in there for strike 2. AJ, if you remember, last inning as well, there were bases loaded for the Outlaws with 1 out, and Derek Constance was able to get out of the jam after retiring his first batter by way of the strikeout. A little bit of deja vu here in the 9th.
That would mean 6 runners left on base in just 2 innings. That's a troublesome, and that's the recipe for losing.
Here is the 0-2. Strike 3, he got him. A huge strikeout here for Jackson Cohn, and with 2 outs in the inning, it'll bring up Tanner Harden, the third baseman.
A strikeout, which he needed, and it should have happened last at-bat possibly, but he forced himself into that 3-2 last at-bat and got the job done this at-bat.
So after Derek Constance let 3 runners on after striking out his first, he would strike out his next batter. Now Cohen has done the same. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 9th. Last out of the game for the Outlaws. Harden so far in this one, he's 1 for 3.
2 outs now, a walk, gets you a tie game. You have to lead by 1. You and the pitcher only. Don't worry about the batters.
1-0 is in there for strike 1. 1-1 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. As close as possible between the Stallions and Outlaws. Cohen is 2 strikes away from getting out of it. That one's hit to the right side, fielded on a hop by Rodriguez, throws to first, and the Stallions win it. It comes down to the wire, but the Stallions escape. And AJ, I just want to tell this to you really quickly. This is quite crazy. And the last inning started off with a strikeout, then 3 straight batters got on, then a strikeout, and a line out over to second. This time, strikeout, 3 straight batters on, strikeout, and another line out over to second.
History
wow.
Repeating itself, Dan. A great game by the Stallions. 0 errors for the consecutive straight game. That's a positive outlook out of this game. The Outlaws having 4 off of 8 hits and 5 runs, 4 errors, and 1 run. It could be a totally different outcome in this game.
Yeah, and they stranded 6 batters in those last 2 innings, something they will look back upon at the end of this game. But the Stallions get the win here tonight. They now have won 4 straight, heading into a high-stakes home-and-home with Amsterdam starting tomorrow night at Cantine Field. What can we expect in that one?
Expect a chippy game. Both teams tied for first. The winner of the 2 of those games will stick on first for the next few weeks, depending on how the matchup goes. They both want to win. That's why they're here.
Make sure to tune into that one here on the Stallions YouTube channel. But if you can make it in person at Cantine Field, we would love your support. Regardless, the Stallions win this one against Oneonta 6-5. They're undefeated against the Outlaws this season. For Dan Shalom and AJ DiBenedetto, we'll see you tomorrow night at Cantine Field. Have a great night.